Paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may be able to even skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. Call 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55-plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace.
Whether we're a CEO, manager,
coworker,
or someone with a mental health condition ourselves.
So what can I do to help?
Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's the weather.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It is a WRAL weather alert day, and it's a hot one out there. Highs in the mid-90s, feeling more like low 100s. We'll have a chance of strong to severe thunderstorms this evening with a chance for some wind damage. Could see some of that toward the end of the evening commute. 73 tonight, and tomorrow we're back into the mid-90s again with a chance of some strong storms late in the day.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 160 points today to 53,815.
Deep left corner of the end zone! Jalen Coker hauls it in for a touchdown!
Off the back iron, Wilson comes soaring in to dunk it home.
Copeland jabs on him a couple of times. Step back three-pointer, left corner, swish.
One dribble out for Boozer for 3. Big time!
And the Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. On a Tuesday. What's going on, everybody? I'm Tim Donnelly, Max Gorin producing the show. One day closer to football. Not just Hall of Fame game, but all the preseason starts up on Thursday. We're looking forward to it. But that also means there's some business that needs to be done, and we are going to start there in our Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The Carolina Panthers, their practice continues, rolls along, and we learned some things yesterday. We learned quite a few things yesterday. One of the things we learned is that there's some position battles going on for the Carolina Panthers. And that's going to be number one in the Big Three at 3, presented by Mainer Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, whatever you have going on in your house, if it's not working the way it should, Mainer Service Company. Check them out online, MainerServices.com. So let's start with the one that feels like a more of a revelation, feels like something we've learned in the last week. Off-ball linebacker, there's one position set in stone. That's Devin Lloyd. You don't bring someone in, pay him roughly $15 million a year without tossing him the keys to the entire defense. So Devin Lloyd, locked and loaded. On the other side, I was under the impression that was Trevin Wallace's job. He's the guy that's returning. He's the guy that you drafted on day 2 a couple years ago. He just seemed like it made sense until, again, actions speak louder than words, until Trevin Wallace played in the Hall of Fame preseason game. No matter what you say about how much you like a player's development, if somebody is the presumed starter, you're not playing when so many of the other starters are sitting on the sideline, laughing, joking, carrying on. So then, obviously, the questions arise, right? The questions pop up, and Dave Canales revealed, right? There is a position battle for that other off-ball linebacker between Trevin Wallace and Claudin Cherylus. That's a sign that maybe Wallace isn't developing the way they'd like. Cherylus, good player, but journeyman, right? Good player, but replacement level. I do want to open up just one more side of things that could be happening here. Could be a message being sent to Trevin Wallace. Right? When you open up the position, hey, nobody's set in stone, nobody's written in the starting lineup in ink, perhaps it's more of a wake-up call, and they're doing a little bit of coaching through the media, a little bit of motivation. If you are a starter, or you think you are a starter, you assume you'll be a starter, and all the starters are not playing in the preseason game, and you are, that's a real, like, kind of moment. So that's going on. How will it play out? I still think it's going to be Trevin Wallace. Maybe it's like a confirmation bias, like I want to be right, and I'd been assuming it all offseason. But I still think it'll be Wallace. But the hold on that position, a little bit less. There's also some other position battles going on. I don't know if we even call it a position battle. Princely Monmielen and Patrick Jones for that outside linebacker spot. Princely Monmielen played in the first preseason game. Patrick Jones didn't, but Jones is a veteran coming off a major injury, so that's not necessarily he wasn't playing because of a starter, because he is a starter. I just think they're all going to play, right? I think there's going to be Jalen Phillips as often as you possibly can, and that other outside linebacker position is going to be a rotation. And, you want to start, don't get me wrong, you're competitive, you want to start, but as long as you get your snaps, who cares? And I think both of those guys are going to get their snaps. I hope there's a position battle at safety. Nick Scott is going to be the starter, and if we know anything about the way Joe Evero picks his players, he'll probably be the starter long after we think he should, just because he loves his veterans. But Zakee Wheatley showed me something. Lathan Ransom has shown me something. I want both of those guys to be competing to play, start, whatever you want to call it, for that defense. And that's just on the defensive side of the ball. Do we call it a position battle for the starting running back? Do we call it a position battle between Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks? Probably not yet. Simply because Jonathan Brooks is still, he has those injuries in his rearview mirror. So I would assume there's no way he's going to be the main dude. But if we're 8 weeks in and he looks good and he's not knee swelling or anything like that, there's none of that going on, I think there could be a position battle for RB1 by midway through the season, but there's no way it happens early. You have to bring him on slowly just for your own kind of well-being, so you're not freaking out every time he's out there. And then the last one, I think there's a position battle for wide receiver 3. The only reason I don't think we have time to cover it is because there's like 7 guys vying for it. There's Tedero McMillan, there's Jalen Coker, probably the betting favorite, Xavier Leggett. If you're looking for the soup du jour, the player of the moment, it'd be Jasim Reed, the second-year player who's kind of glowing up this preseason. If you want the super veteran, you'd go David Moore. If you want the special teamer, you'd go Bryce Tremaine. If you want the guy with the connection to the quarterback from college, you go with John Mechie. You could go on, and Jimmy Horn probably is the I don't know, twitchiest of the bunch, and he had a good preseason game in the Hall of Fame game. There's too many there. What I know is Tedero McMillan and Jalen Coker are number 1. There's probably a rotation behind them. I have no idea what that rotation will be. And that's just a little bit of what's going on for the Panthers as we head towards preseason game number 1B on Thursday at Buffalo. We'll see who they play with. If you're out on the field with Bryce Young, that means a lot because he's not going to play that many snaps, and you're going to want him to have that chemistry building with the players who he's going to be playing with in the season. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
For those of you watching on YouTube, I do recognize that as I just said the number 2, I put up 5 fingers. Normally I put up 2. That was not a mistake. That was like a slip because number 2 is 5th year college football player. So as I said 2, I was thinking 5, and that's why the 5 fingers went up. I just want everybody to know I do know how to count. And if you're listening on radio, I didn't have to tell you, but now I just made myself sound not that on top of it. 5th year college football players are waiting. It was a real sly little add-in to my conversation with Blake Harrell, the head coach of ECU, yesterday, right at the end. And as a matter of fact, we'll just play it for you again and see if it stands out to you the way it stood out to me yesterday. This is Blake Harrell, ECU head football coach, yesterday on this program.
We're kind of waiting to sit and seeing on this class of 22, just kind of where it goes. We got 3 guys who would be eligible to return if it kind of folds through. I know there's about a dozen teams out there that already added players back, so we're just kind of waiting to see where that goes. We start school next Monday, so we're kind of under a time crunch a little bit, so hopefully it clears up pretty quick.
You do have players, though, that you're aware are kind of just waiting on that call?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 kids we have, J.D. Lampley was an all-conference player for us last year. Sam Danka was a starter for us last year, and Marlon Gunn was a starter at running back, and actually had the big run in the bowl game. They got called back with the inverted whistle.
Okay, everybody. That's making it like that's putting real names to it, right? That's putting real impact to it. That's like I don't know, when you walk into a seafood restaurant and if you have some kids with you and they start naming the lobsters and suddenly ordering the lobster feels a bit more serious because you put a name on it. That's real. ECU has 3 impact players waiting on a ruling that are just ready to tag team into the season. We're a good part into training camp. Now, if ECU has it, I assume quite a few teams, not every team, right? Wake Forest, Jake Dickert said, he's rolling with the team that he has and he likes his team. But I assume there's a bunch of teams out there with a player, a couple players, maybe all conference players just waiting to come on back. Have we ever seen anything like that? Where halfway through camp, I don't know, I'll take a random guess, 50% of teams are just going to have significant additions in the middle of camp? For the coaches poll is already out. They've made their decisions. Now you're just going to go, well, actually, that team you picked 19th has 4 more All-Americans, or at least 1 starter, right? It's going to shake up college football, and whoever handles it the best, teams integrating those players back in, or maybe that's the wrong way to handle it, and it'll shake your team up, and the right way to do it is to not let them back in. But either way, it is a shakeup that is on the way for college football, and we're not that far from games, real games that matter. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The NBA, before they got to, before they have to, I should say, compete with the NFL games. They're going to take every bit of oxygen they can as far as PR and do their best to capitalize on it. And they did that by announcing some of their schedule, and we have some of the big games for you. The New York Knicks, defending champs, will raise the banner on NBA's opening night as they face off Could it be anyone else? LeBron James debuting with the 76ers. That is October 20th, 7 p.m. There's also some other big games that day. It's going to be Boston at Detroit. It'll be OKC against the Spurs. All three of those games taking place on the 20th. Those are fantastic matchups. The NBA did not miss on this one. You get Knicks, Sixers, which are the two most interesting teams. The defending champ and obviously LeBron and Philly's crazy. Celtics, Pistons is super important in the East, and also there's histories there. And then Thunder, Spurs, you could play that 100 times. I'd watch it every single time. Wemby versus Chet and Gilgeous-Alexander and all them. That's fantastic. I know you're a big NBA fan, Max. Those three are pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm wondering, would you rather take the NBA's opening day triple header or the NHL's? NHL kind of dropped the ball with the
timing of
forcing
it was
the Blackhawks in there.
The Blackhawks in there, like having the banner raising be that 5 o'clock game is a weird one.
And look, like everyone's like, oh, but you have to have the banner raising for the first game, but the NBA has a game 4 hours before their champions raising their banner, so just shows the NHL could have not put that game at 5 p.m.
Yeah, the NFL is best at promoting its sport. NBA is second. I would say NHL is third, and then Major League Baseball is fourth. Like if you're looking at the big four in North America, that's how I would look at how they are promoting their sport. The NFL doesn't miss on scheduling. The NBA rarely misses on scheduling, but it's really just put LeBron in prime time, and that's worked for them for the last 20 years.
They also put 6 playoff teams.
Six playoff
which
teams.
Is good.
Defending champ.
The NHL does have
rivalries.
A couple non-playoff teams playing on opening night as well, but it's not part of the
not
part of the ESPN tripleheader. But
there's 0% chance NFL or NBA would have the Blackhawks playing in a premier match or premier game as soon as they heard he was hurt. Like as soon as Connor Bedard's not playing, they're moving heaven and earth to make sure that is not the team that is featured. And obviously the
it's
NHL.
a 10:30 game anyway. I think they're
West Coast. Got to make fans on the West Coast. Got to make fans on the West Coast. I mean, the late game for the NBA is OKC San Antonio.
Yep. Everybody's going to watch that.
You'll stay up for that. Like you will drink caffeine. You will take a nap in the afternoon to make sure you're ready for that. Good job, NBA. That is the Big 3 at 3 presented by Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Again, online, MaynardServices.com. MAYNOR services.com. When we come back, a question I have long asked. Can somebody give me numbers for how much these college football players are making? ESPN tried. How much does a quarterback go for on the open market? We have some answers for you next.
You've got rhythm. Your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just because this is going to be rattling around in my brain for fantasy football purposes. Lindsey Theory, who covers the Rams, says Puka Nacua left practice with the training staff, and after the practice, Sean McVay says he has no update on what happened. That's where it stands. I just needed to get that off my chest so you all know as well as I know. Heavily invested in Puka. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of heavily invested, let me take a step back. I have been one of the most vocal advocates for college athletes, particularly the famous ones, the sports that make a bunch of money. They should be paid, okay? But that doesn't mean that like my jaw doesn't hit the floor just like everybody else's when you see some of the numbers that they're being paid, or that my curiosity isn't piqued like everybody else's about how much a all-conference wide receiver might make, or how much a player is potentially passing up by not going into the transfer portal. Like I want to know the numbers as much as anyone. And unlike in professional sports where, they sign a contract at $315 and by $320, there's an insider, there's Elliot Friedman, or there's Adam Schefter tweeting out, this many years, this much money, this much guaranteed, and the whole thing. College athletes, we don't get any of that. All we get is leaks from sources that I don't know if we can trust. Right? Because agents are going to, meaning the players' NIL agents are going to be saying, so-and-so was offered $800 quadrillion just because they want to raise the market. And teams are going to say, oh, the market for a left tackle is outrageous and we can't afford it because, well, they don't want to pay him that much. And we never really get the down the middle kind of both sides of the story. ESPN at least has given it a go. Okay, ESPN.com put out an article that is supposedly giving us the range for positions. And there are some local ties here, right? Because you are going to see perhaps why players transferred out of our area because maybe they priced themselves out of the neighborhood. Quarterbacks. Typical range for a power conference quarterback. So starting QB1 at one of the four conferences where the money is supposedly being thrown around the most. Typical range is between $1 million and $3 million. First of all, big range. Thanks, ESPN. Second of all, the elites are going to be above that, and the super unproven are going to be below that, right? If you have a 2 or 3 person, inexperienced, unproven quarterback competition, none of them are making $2 million. If you have Darian Mensah, who is somebody that has now jumped to the highest bidder 2 times and played very well along the way, Darian Mensah, who left Duke, went to Miami. I'm going to read directly from the ESPN article. Mensah was once again the extreme outlier with his unprecedented deal with Miami that was believed to approach $8 million before his settlement with Duke. $8 million. Now, again, maybe he owed some money back to Duke, so subtract that from the nearly $8 million. But if it's approaching $8 million, goodness. This is crazy. Even inexperienced guys that hit the portal and supposedly had value were able to cash in. Lincoln Kienholz, the Louisville quarterback, and Kenny Minchey, who transferred to Kentucky, $2.5 to $3 million range, according to the article. You could be a career backup. As long as you're a career backup, backing up the right quarterback at the right school, you can go cash in at another power conference for almost $3 million. Now do you see why coaches are always asking for more money and trying to find more donors? Running backs, the typical range is $300,000 to $800,000, not $3 million. $300,000 to $800,000. But another guy that transferred out of the area, Hollywood Smothers and Rayleigh Brown, who both went to Texas. They're sharing a backfield this year. Those deals believed to be worth $1 million or more by front office staffers. Considered both Texas big portal pickups to be worth $1 million or more. Goodness. There's even a rookie, or not even a rookie. We should start calling them rookies because they're pros. There's a freshman, a 5-star Tennessee commit. Okay, so he's not playing this year. He's committed for next year. Guy named David Gabriel Georges, reportedly getting a deal for around $2 million per year from the Tennessee Volunteers. He'll be a freshman next year. Jeremiah Smith, wide receiver. This will be the last point I make. We could go through all the positions. Matter of fact, I'll run through them quickly at the end just so everybody knows the ranges. But wide receivers, power conference wide receiver, typical range, $400K up to $1 million. That's for a wide receiver one. The second best wide receiver on the team, most GMs surveyed generally agreed, $500,000 to $600,000. Third wide receivers, that role making between $200,000 and $300,000. Now, Jeremiah Smith, according to this article, wide receiver, Ohio State, largely believed to be one of, if not the best player in the country at any position, has said he was offered $10 million to transfer away from Ohio State at the end of last season. I do want to emphasize he never put his name in the transfer portal. So he caught wind of a $10 million offer, despite the fact that nobody would have been allowed to make a $10 million offer. Does that confuse you, Max? Your palms are to the sky. No? All right. Tight ends. Power conference tight ends range between $300,000 and $600,000. Interior offensive linemen, typical range $400,000 to $800,000. Offensive tackles, $600,000 to $1.2 million. On the defensive side of the ball, edge rushers, typical range for power conference starters, $500,000 up to $1.2 million. Defensive tackles range from $500,000 to $1 million. Linebackers, $300,000 to $700,000. Defensive backs, fairly similar for corners and safeties. I thought that was surprising, but they're both about $300,000 to $400,000 up to $900,000. And remember, that's for typical starters. That's not for your returning all conferences. That's not for your players that are going to be drafted in the first round. That's for your typicals. That's why so many players hit the transfer portal. I think the reason why I'm always asking about what the numbers are and that this article will help me out in some of my conversations is fans still get very mad when players go in the transfer portal. And I think it's because we just assume it's vaguely like, oh, they're going for a lot of money. Put a real number on it. They're going for maybe you're getting offered at your current school $400,000 and you're getting 1.2 at your next school. Like, now put it in your own terms. What will $800,000 do for your life? There's no guarantee they're going to go play in the NFL. There's no guarantee they're going to be around in the NFL for a long time if they do play in the NFL. $600,000, $800,000, $500,000. Millions if you play the right positions. I find it much, much more difficult to complain about the transfer portal when you put the real dollars on it. Now, you can be mad at the system and say there shouldn't be that big of a difference. Do we want to get into solution time, Max? I don't know if it's a radical idea, but I have an idea here for how we can fix college sports. So what is the revenue share now? Like $20.5 million, right? Every school can pay their student athletes $20.5 million. Like in total, and certain amount has to go to, variety of schools or sports, whatever it is.
$21.3 million.
Perfect. I think you should be able to give $21.3 million to anyone you want, any player you want. There should be another chunk of change, $10, $15, $20 million that the school can only give to returning players. So you're just working from a bigger pool of money for your returnees, and that's going to turn down the transfer portaling a ton because it's much, much, much less likely that a school elsewhere would be able to outbid your current school. And that tells me if you're leaving, you're not leaving just for the dollars. You're leaving because something about the school you're currently enrolled in doesn't vibe with you, right? You and the coaches don't get along. There's something socially. There's something real that is making you leave.
You're saying this would be an additional on top of it? Well, then I don't know if the schools want to pay another $10 million
they're already,
players.
The Protect College Sports Act and all these proposed changes is already upping how much you can pay straight from the university. I just think if they add more money to pay from the university, there should be a separate, or I guess you could eat into it. You could say every team gets $12 million to pay whoever they want and $9 million that they can only pay to returning players. That's interesting. I just think that's one way. I think we all agree that there's too much transfer portaling going on. And if you're gonna stop it, you have to find a way to stop that without infringing upon the rights of the student athletes, because we've learned if you infringe on the rights of the student athletes, the courts will not let you uphold those rules. So just give it, say, hey, you can transfer as many times as you want, but you're probably not going to make as much money if you do so. And then everybody's going to be incentivized to stay. Any thoughts? Anyway? Not as radical as it seemed, huh? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Think about this. If you made an extra $600,000 when you were in college, maybe you'd invest in real estate. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, and you'd want to keep as much of that $600,000 in your pocket as you can. Well, Miller Lending offers something called a no-cost loan. Now, obviously, $600K might change the way we operate. Maybe we'd buy in cash. But for most of us, that mortgage is going to be one of the biggest investments we have in our lives. And Miller Lending wants to keep those closing costs in your pocket. I like to say, when you buy a house, there's usually a few things on the to-do list, right? You want to change the carpet. You want to put in a new lighting fixture. You want to put ceiling fans in all the bedrooms. Whatever it is, and you want a little cash to do it. So if you just keep the closing costs, right? The closing cost, the check that you normally turn over at closing, if Miller Lending says, nope, don't keep it, right? Yeah, just go ahead. That's yours. We don't need closing costs. We offer a no closing cost loan. That can be the nest egg that, puts in the new counters, right? That can be the nest egg that gives you the ability to finish the basement or whatever thing you want to do to make the house your own when you buy it. Miller Lending, locally owned. Give them a call. Ask about the no closing cost loan. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, well, it's time for the Dean's List here on The Drive.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier Factory Authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb and Company. Your comfort is our business.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, there's still plenty of time. Today is a Tuesday, which means we offer 99.9 The Fan Zone tickets to the Durham Bulls, who play at 6:45, I believe, tonight. And the beauty of our 99.9 The Fan Zone tickets, which are just down the third base line, beautiful view of the field, great seats. The beauty is on Tuesdays, those tickets are just $9.99. And there's still tickets available, as I was told before the show. So, still tickets in our fan zone available. So, check out a Durham Bulls game today. Weather looks fantastic. $9.99 for tickets. You can't beat that.
Should be pretty nice out there once the sun starts setting, too.
6:45 game, kind of.
Yeah,
lovely.
we were out there in the sun like an hour ago throwing the football around, and it wasn't too bad, especially in the shade. So once the sun starts setting, you get some nice night baseball. Should be a good day out at the ballpark.
It's and you don't want a scorcher. You don't want to be sitting there, sweating through your shirt, but you want some sun. You want a nice day. So 99.9 The Fan Zone tickets, Durham Bulls. Again, still plenty of time. It's over 3 hours from now. So wherever you are, start making plans to go check out a baseball game today. Game's at 6:45. Now, with that being said, let's put class in session with the Dean's List. All right, we have some auto bids, some auto entries into the Dean's List today. We have Micah Sahakian. I apologize if I mispronounced that. From Duke football. We have Jordan Shipp from North Carolina football, and we have Isaiah Shirley from NC State football. They are all Watch List Award nominees, right? The rule is if you are on especially a national award watch list, you automatically get put on the Dean's List. They are all on the watch list for the All-State Warfel Trophy. That is presented. It's the premier award. I'm going to read directly from the release. The All-State Warfel Trophy, a member of the National College Football Awards Association, is college football's premier award for community service and is presented annually to the FBS player who best combines exemplary community service with leadership and performance on and off the field. This is the one your parents want you to win, right? This is the good guy award. And all three of those players, Jordan Shipp and Isaiah Shirley specifically, because they were at ACC kickoff with us. Their coaches, their teammates, everybody speaks glowingly of them. So congratulations to them. Now, do they have to go out and play well and also raise money for things this season? How do you, if you're on the watch list, how do you separate yourself? You got to go do some food drives or something. I don't know, but good luck to them and well deserved. More Dean's List. How about the Roadie Breakers? Roadie like Rhode Island. Roadie Breakers. They are a division of the Baseball Cards of Rhode Island retail shop that opens boxes of trading cards on a live stream for clients. I talked about this yesterday. The trading card game is exploding. If you watch one or two videos of people talking about trading cards, your social media feed will be full for weeks with people going I really wanted to be at $270 on the Shohei. If we package it with the Iverson rookie card, can we get you somewhere near 400? And they just go back and forth over and over again. But the Roadie Breakers opened a pack of cards that contained a player that played their college basketball right here in the Triangle at Duke, Cooper Flagg, the coveted 1-of-1 numbered rookie debut patch auto, which I've been told each word of that sentence makes it way more rare. 1-of-1 numbered rookie debut patch auto was found on Monday night by the Roadie Breakers. A similar exclusive card featuring all those same specifications of Paul Skeens, Pirates pitcher, who was similarly hyped as Cooper Flagg, sold for $1.11 million last year, leading to speculation that Cooper Flagg's card could fetch at least as much in an auction. At least $1.11 million. The card so coveted, the Mavericks, who obviously employ Cooper Flagg, have made a public offer prior to it being found. Whoever found it, they would trade 2 Mavericks premium season tickets for 32 years, a signed game-worn Cooper Flagg rookie jersey, plus a post-game photo op with Cooper Flagg, a private photo shoot with the Rookie of the Year trophy, and an all-expenses-paid road trip with the team, and more, including a private pickup game at the Mavericks home arena for you and like 10 of your friends. So they offered all that. They're not going to get it because I don't think any of that adds up to $1.11 million. But the Roadie Breakers, they just open to pack. Now they 7 figures looking at him in the face.
The jersey too, like the actual full jersey that Cooper Flagg wore, I guess, for the first half of his NBA debut.
That's the part of this card? Is that what's in there?
Part of it is in the card, but the jersey itself already sold for $1 million. Does
it have a tiny, like, square patch cut out of it?
I guess so. I don't know. Or maybe this patch is from the second half jersey. Okay. But, I mean, would that go for, does the card go for more or less than the jersey itself? I don't know how the market for these things works.
I think the way, and I know absolutely nothing about the card game, but the way my social media made it seem, anything that has anything to do with a card is worth way more than you think. Like when people they send them away to like somebody to tell them, I guess PSA to grade them, and I'm like, all right, if it's a 10, these people are going to be stoked. They open it up, they're like a 6. No, now I'm only going to get $10,000 for it, and I'm like, sounds like a celebration to me. More Dean's List. Do you have any you want to add to the Dean's List, Max?
Yeah, this is there's a number of ACC, particularly local ACC players as well, that were on the College Basketball Report Top 30 Sophomores list.
Let's hear it.
I'll just start with the local schools. Caden Boozer checked in at number 13. Nicholas Abdalis from Carolina at 24. Dame Sarr is in at 28. Preston Edmead for NC State, 29, and Matt Abel for Carolina is 30. And then the other representatives from the ACC as well. Shelton Henderson from Miami is number 6 on this list. And Chance Mallory from Virginia comes in at number 11. So a number of local players and ACC players listed among the best sophomores coming into next season of college basketball.
I'll add a college football player who was listed on ESPN's most impactful freshman. Feels like we used to have so many more lists of like, who's going to be the best freshman? Who's going to be the best freshman? But now they get mixed in as best newcomers, and they're included with transfers. And transfers are like, a junior All-American transferring is always going to be more impressive than a freshman. But they did at least one list of most impactful, simple high school recruit freshmen. This is college football. And the only player from a team in the state of North Carolina, Kenton Dobson, cornerback for the Tar Heels. Flipped Dobson during his recruiting from Miami in December, and he arrived as North Carolina's highest-ranked defensive recruit and number 15 corner in the class of 2026. Opportunity to crack the rotation probably a little bit earlier for Carolina than Miami. He is listed as one of the most impactful freshmen in college football. All right, last one here. I'm putting Derek Carr on the Dean's List. I don't know if everybody saw this. The longtime Raiders and then short-time Saints quarterback Derek Carr. It was announced that he's being hired by UCLA, only kind of. He's volunteering. But former quarterback Derek Carr is going to be a special advisor to its head coach Bob Chesney. He's going to help with the offensive staff with game planning and also work with UCLA's quarterbacks as a volunteer. Now, there's someone on the staff, I think the GM of UCLA overlapped with him at Fresno, so it's like helping out an old buddy. But also, this is the dream. Go make $200 million by the time you turn like 36, and then do the rest of your life however the heck you want to do it. You want to go work with a team? Sure. You can go work with UCLA, and it doesn't matter because you'll take $0, so of course they're going to include you. You want to go play golf the rest of your life? Go do that. But he wants to be involved in college sports, so Derek Carr is on the Dean's List for passing on wisdom. That's it for the Dean's List. Dismissed here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Need to make some time so I can tell you all about Kalshi. Before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions and much more in a live market. Right now, Carolina is trading at 23% to win the NFC South. They have the third highest percentage out of the 4 teams in the division. That means if you trade $100 right now on the Panthers to win the division and it happens, you'll get paid out over $410, $412 and change. That's some real money there if you believe in Carolina. On Kalshi, remember this, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. You can trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi, which means if maybe the probability goes down a little and you think it's going to keep going down, one term might be cut your losses, you can sell out of that position, buy into another, and it's not a complete and total loss. It's just one of the ways you get to make decisions constantly with the live market aspect of Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD, that's TIMD, to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. KALSHI, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restriction and eligibility requirements apply. When contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with more chaos in the college sports world. Stick around.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with Upfit Solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed Upfit Solutions from Van Products.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used a trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is your job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Out here, you know the drill. Animals are hungry, dogs are getting muddy, and you just noticed you're low on feed. Stocking up at Tractor Supply is easy on your wallet with our unbeatable prices on select shavings, retriever dog food, and Producer's Pride animal and poultry feed. From backyards to barnyards, we've got everything to keep your pets, animals, and livestock well-fed and comfortable with low prices all summer. At Tractor Supply.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As I often say, we are constantly working around here to put out the best content we can, and a lot of that lives on YouTube. And it would mean a lot to us if you gave us a shot. I'm not looking for a pity subscribe, by the way. I just want to be in the game. Go check out 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Watch some videos, find some titles or some thumbnails that draw your attention. Click them, give them a watch, and if you like what you see, throw that subscribe button on there. That's all I'm asking. Just want to be in the game. Grow in that community, and also jump in the comments, right? See what everybody's saying. See if that's a place you want to live. Maybe you can get in there, mix it up with the commenters. Again, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. In the meantime, there is an element of chaos that it's become commonplace in college sports where, there's going to be a transfer portal that shakes you up. There's going to be a coach move that shakes you. Like there's some chaos. I think we may have drastically underestimated how suddenly things can change this year specifically. And how college coaches likely believe in themselves as far as getting the most out of talent out of any situation. Here's what I mean. We're all aware of the court ruling. I believe Colorado was the first place where the ruling came down, but there's court cases across the country that are granting injunctions or temporary restraining orders or flat out just making the decision that the class of 2022 recruits, so high school class of 2022, if you're an athlete that played 4 years of college in 4 years, meaning no redshirt, you are definitely going to get to play this year. You shouldn't, because your eligibility expired, and the rules that you signed up to play in college said that your eligibility was up. But because they are changing the rules this offseason, the courts are mandating that you get grandfathered in. But it's happening kind of one at a time. It's happening slowly. Different players are on different lawsuits. So some are eligible to return. Some are almost certainly going to be eligible, but have to wait a couple more days. And some are truly in the air, up, kind of hanging in the balance. Yesterday, we had Blake Harrell on the show, ECU head football coach. Maybe it's like the simplicity or the just matter-of-fact nature of how he said it, but he explained to us that there are 3 players from ECU last year, starters, all-conference players, that are simply waiting for the go-ahead. They're just sitting there. They're ready. They're likely training. They're working out. They're ready to play for ECU this year, and they're just, waiting for somebody to tag them in. This is what it sounded like when Blake Harrell, ECU head coach, talked with us yesterday right here on this show.
We're kind of waiting to sit and see on this class of 22, just kind of where it goes. We got 3 guys who would be eligible to return if it kind of folds through. I know there's about a dozen teams out there that already added players back, so we're just kind of waiting to see where that goes. We start school next Monday, so we're kind of under a time crunch a little bit, so hopefully it clears up pretty quick.
You do have players, though, that you're aware are kind of just waiting on that call?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 kids we have, J.D. Lampley was an all-conference player for us last year. Sam Danka was a starter for us last year, and Marlon Gunn was a starter at running back, and actually had the big run in the bowl game. They got called back with the inverted whistle.
3 impact players just waiting. Am I ready? Like a tag team wrestler outside the ropes, but like reaching their hand out, going, "Can I go? Can I? Come on!" Now that's big for ECU, right? They've had to replace a ton of talent, and they would love to have those guys coming back. That's big for ECU. But looking big picture, how many schools do you think have players like that? How many schools do you think have some aces in the hole just hiding? Just waiting for that court to say, go ahead. 2 weeks before the season opens, hey, look at that. We just got 2 new all-conference players. Or, hey, 2 of our starters from last year that are 24 years old are just rolling back in. Who would have thought we were actually not that deep at that position? Now we are. The coaches poll has already come out. How can you do that and then have all these people showing up? Now, I want to be clear. If it's anybody's fault, it's the NCAA's fault, right? I don't blame the players for trying to play because the money could be at least life-altering a bit, if not super life-changing. The coaches, right? Blake Harrell, guess what he's judged on? His ability to win games. If he thinks he can win more games by adding guys that are waiting on court rulings, that's his responsibility to the university. It's another situation where the NCAA did not look ahead and predict what was obviously predictable. Now, football-wise, football is a different beast, right? If you're not, obviously if it's a player that's been around and it's a player, you didn't do too much changing of your own on like the staff, right? So it's the same system. You can bring guys back and they'll likely fit in and it'd be fine and you already trust them with their culture. If it's somebody who perhaps is coming out of the transfer portal or somebody who played for you, but you've changed coordinators, so you're running a different system now, it gets hairy. You don't see many major in-season trades in the NFL for especially like skill position players and offensive linemen because you need chemistry. You need time to learn everything. It's not like baseball, right? Baseball, you don't even have to know the name of like the person who's batting ahead of you in the lineup, right? The left fielder doesn't have to talk to the first baseman, and you know the dugout could be in stalls, right? You could be sitting in your own room, and it wouldn't really change anything. Football can't be that way. You have to be one connected beast. So you're taking a risk unless the player is, 07 Tim Tebow. Like, you're taking a risk of bringing them in. I could have picked 2010 Cam Newton. I'm just an all-time great. Unless it's a wildly talented, unbelievable, of course you're bringing them player, you're taking a risk of uprooting your squad a little bit. But that's where the ego of the coaches come in. Coaches think, hey, I can do it. You give me somebody that runs a little bit faster. You give me somebody that catches a little bit better. You give me somebody that blocks a little bit better. The social side of it, yeah, sure. Somebody's been working all camp. Somebody's been working all offseason thinking they were going to start. And now on the doorstep of the first game, I'm going to pull the carpet out from under him and bring back the guy that he set the bench behind last year. And everybody's just going to be cool with it because I know how to make it work. That's a dangerous game you're playing. Dangerous game. The transfer portal used to be so much less active, and I think that kind of makes it similar to this situation, right? There was a moment right after the season ended. Oh, actually, let me give you some background. I played at the FCS level, and you used to be able to transfer from the FBS level to the FCS level. We called it 1A and 1AA. You used to be able to transfer from 1A to 1AA and not sit out. If you went from 1A to 1A, you had to sit out a year. So there used to be this, it wasn't a transfer window, but kind of was. Right after the season, you'd be on pins and needles for like a month, right? There'd be transfers at your position coming in for visits, and they'd be former 5-stars, and they'd be like, this isn't going to go well. But then if you made it through that month, you'd kind of be cool. You'd be like, oh, they committed elsewhere. I remember it happened to me with Dane Christ, the Notre Dame quarterback. He was like the number 1 quarterback in the country. He visited Delaware, and one of my best friends was asked to host him on his visit. I was like, come on, man. But then he ended up choosing Kansas, and he transferred to Kansas. And I was like, whew. But then every once in a while, right on the doorstep of camp, somebody would transfer in, and that person who thought that was their job would just be smoked. They'd be downtrodden, melancholy. I imagine that's going to happen about 50,000 times this year with this rule happening. And coaches better tread lightly. It's not worth it unless the player is going to be an impact player, which it sounds like ECU has a few of, right? You bring back a all-conference player, that's you're probably going to make that work. But it is going to be chaos. I thought it would happen in basketball. I was worried about it happening in basketball because they have more time. Football season already started by the time these court rulings started coming down, at least practices. It sounds like coaches are still going to take that risk. So buckle up if you are somebody starting out there in college football and you don't think you have the firmest grasp on your position, because there could be the Grim Reaper coming to take your spot away in the form of someone you're very close with and learned a lot from the year before. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a little chaos in college football. Let's look up the ladder a bit. Is there chaos in NFL football? Coming to the Carolina Panthers. Stick around.
You put sunscreen on when you go out in the sun. Did you know that the sun could hurt your car, too? It's true. Keep cool this summer and protect the interior from fading and cracking with a custom window tint from SoundStation and Security. The sun's harmful UV rays can also hurt your paint on the exterior. That's why SoundStation and Security offers custom ceramic coating. Think of it as a little sunscreen with SoundStation and Security. 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Tia, can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. My favorite place to go in the Triangle for the best wings on the planet. How about this special? Every Monday, half-priced wings all day. Dine-in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Everything on the menu is amazing. Pizza, apps, and always great drink specials. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and their pet-friendly patio, too. Online, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Plenty of companies will sell you a new roof. Fewer will tell you if you actually need one. Since 1915, people across the Carolinas have trusted the Baker name to do right by their homes. Baker Home Exteriors now does roofing, siding, windows, and doors, and always honest advice. The motto puts it plainly: we shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. Trust the team that's earned it for over 100 years. Baker Home Exteriors. Visit bakerhomeexteriors.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's the weather.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It is a WRAL weather alert day, and it's a hot one out there. Highs in the mid-90s, feeling more like low 100s. We'll have a chance of strong to severe thunderstorms this evening with a chance for some wind damage. Could see some of that toward the end of the evening commute. 73 tonight and tomorrow. We're back into the mid-90s again with a chance of some strong storms late in the day.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 216 points today to 53,759.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is just about 4 o'clock, and that means it is just about time for Football at 4. Football at 4 brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. Now, Football at 4, it's I don't want to say it's repetitive, but it is emphasis, right? There were so many conversations that we had about the Carolina Panthers this offseason. And first of all, that's fun for me, right? I love talking about football, so I'm not complaining, but I'm saying I think a lot of them are really like 2 steps down the road conversations. Right? Because you're going to analyze every aspect of the roster. You're going to analyze every aspect of the last 2 years under Dan Morgan and Dave Canales and their drafts and how they've developed players and what they've done with the coaching staff. And you're going to analyze everything. And David Tepper's tenure and on and on and on and on. And you're going to try to apply it to this year. But as I have said more with emphasis recently, all of that is contingent upon Bryce Young having a good season. Bryce Young taking the next step. Bryce Young doing, quite frankly, what a lot of people don't think he can do at this point, which is be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Be a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. Be an above-average starter in the NFL. And I know there are some of you that do believe he can do that, but there are also a bunch of you that don't believe he can do that, right? He's a polarizing player. So literally every conversation we've had should have started with a gigantic qualifier. Hey, none of this really matters if Bryce doesn't put it together. But having said that, let's talk about who the wide receiver 3 is going to be. None of this really matters if Bryce doesn't put it together, but let's talk about what Devin Lloyd can bring to the defense in an off-ball linebacker position. Hey, none of this really matters if Bryce can't put it together, but let's talk about Brad Idzik and what he can do differently play calling rather than Dave Canales. That's how every conversation should go. So if every conversation is going to go like that, if we're going to have to start it with that qualifier, just, like the beginning of reality television shows like I'm talking like Fear Factor and Survivor and that stuff from back in the day. You got to start it with like these are organized by professionals and you should not try these at home. If we're gonna have that, we should have the quick talking guy say like all of these opinions are obviously contingent upon Bryce Young doing his job and taking the next step as a quarterback. If we're gonna do that, we need to also talk about Bryce a good amount, right? Have the conversation that we need to have before those conversations, and part of that is hearing from him himself. And let me acknowledge the elephant in the room anytime we play audio from Bryce Young. We need a heavy amount of coach speak translation whenever we talk with Bryce. It's like you take whatever he is actually thinking and you put it through like a Peyton Manning media-trained ohmometer machine and it cranks out what he says. A quick side note here. Before we do have audio from Bryce Young. He spoke to the media yesterday. Can we have a quick side note real quick? I actually think like the Peyton Manning era of media, of quarterbacks, kind of ruined quarterbacks talking to the media for the next generation. They're like, I never went to the Manning camp, right? Never was invited. It's not like I turned them down. But I know a good amount of quarterbacks that have gone to the Manning camp, and they literally do, for the counselors, like the college quarterbacks that go there and help out, they literally do like media training where they teach you like, make sure at the beginning and end of every interview, you say the interviewer's name. So if you're talking to Lisa Salters on the sideline, you go, Lisa, that's a great question, and I'm just out here playing football, and I love it, and we're working hard, and that's just a real good question, Lisa. Like you start and end with the like, and all of that, and all it did, and that's just one example, but they created a generation of robots that don't really say anything that they want to say. They say what they think Peyton Manning would want to say. Or pick your quarterback from that era, right? Tom Brady didn't say much during his playing days, and we're now probably seeing why in his post-playing days. But the guys that came up right before that, there were personalities, right? Phillip Rivers is a personality. Eli Manning may be like kind of the lack of at times, but he was different, right? People that didn't grow up idolizing that group, they had personality. Nowadays, everybody's just trying to be a machine. But Bryce Young might be the most machine of them all. He says the right thing every time. So we'll try to parse through it and see if there's anything we can get out of it, or if it's all just one big impersonation of a Peyton Manning type quarterback. Bryce Young will play in this week's preseason game. I'm calling it preseason game 1. The Hall of Fame game was week 0. Preseason game 1, he will play in it. It'll be the first time since Dave Canales took over as head coach that the starters and the starting quarterback will play in preseason game 1. Bryce was asked about playing in preseason games. This is what he said.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to just be able to go out there with the guys. Anytime you get to play football live in a stadium, it's a privilege. Especially being able to go out there last week. You're around it. Obviously wasn't playing, but just, you get that itch again. So I'm excited. I think it's a great opportunity for us as well. Again, get to go up against another team, go up live, hit someone else. I think it's going to be great for our process.
All right, first bit of translation there. Bryce Young is not hitting somebody else. The team will be hitting somebody else. I think it is important for a player like Bryce to play in the preseason. And I think it's important for a player like Bryce to play early in the preseason. I think it's a good decision to play him early. And not just because they've started slow the past couple years and you can't afford that again. If you look at their schedule, they kind of have 3 gotta-have-it games to start the season. They have some more difficult games later on, but that's not like that's true of everybody on the team. For Bryce, I think he does need to get hit, not hit somebody. There's a difference. I think he needs to get hit. I think he needs those jitters to be displaced. I think he needs to, for lack of a better term, metaphorically taste his own blood a bit. He's a resilient dude, right? Whether you think he's good or not, you think he's a top half NFL quarterback or not, worthy of a contract or not, he's been through some stuff. And usually his better games of the season are in the second half. So he needs to start like getting into the fight. You know what I mean? He's not going to win on cards in the first 2 rounds. He's not going to win the first 2 rounds of the boxing match, but he's going to really start landing punches middle of the fight. So you need to get him there. He should want to play. And also, this might be simplifying it. I want my competitors to want to be out there. I don't want them thinking they're cool on the sideline, standing there like the varsity watching the JV. I want them to want to play and win. And then the coaches have to rein that back in. Now, in the first preseason game, to give you a little the little table setting here for the next quote we're going to play from Bryce. Brad Idzik, who's going to be the play caller for this year, offensive coordinator taking over for head coach Dave Canales, he called plays in that first preseason game. Now, he's called plays in the preseason before, but they've been almost like trials. Like, hey, have fun with it. This is the first time he's called plays where, he can pass out business cards that say Carolina Panthers play caller. He did have a little, I don't want to say a mix-up, because it wasn't his fault. It wasn't a miscue. But he had a little wrench thrown in his system. The headsets went down for Kenny Pickett on the second drive, I believe it was. So they had to go high school, right? If there's a dead ball, I need Kenny Pickett to jog on over to the sideline. I'll give him the play. If there wasn't a dead ball, they were telling the play to wide receivers and having them run it onto the field. At one point, there was a dead ball. Kenny Pickett ran over. They gave him a play and a couple options for the next play in case they wanted to go fast and he would already have it. So that's not usual. The communications, the headsets, they do go down at times, but rarely. It's a good panic situation to have to deal with it, right? That's one of the things when you're learning to drive. I don't know if this was for everybody. I remember vividly, I was learning to drive. My dad was in the passenger seat, learner's permit time, and there was a typical you live in a neighborhood situation. I was probably driving like 25 miles an hour, like the main road in our development. And like a basketball came bouncing out and then a little kid came chasing it and I slammed on the brakes and it was like, oh, no. And I was like heart beating. My dad looked at me and goes, good. That's your first panic situation. You dealt with it all right. And it's like, yeah, there's going to be panic situations, right? You're going to be driving and someone's going to cut you off. You're going to be driving. A ball's going to bounce in front of you. You're going to be driving. Got to deal with your first panic situation. Good on Brad Idzik for dealing with his first panic situation because something like that is going to happen. Now you just got to get better. Here's Bryce Young on his thoughts on Brad Idzik calling plays.
I think he did a great job. Great job of, of executing the game plan. Great job of being, that one call ahead of, having good rhythm, mixing and blending, being balanced, and then also, recognizing, having feel for what the defense is in, what they want to do, and then, being fast with a counter. It's such a high-level game, and especially for that being his first time. He's called in other preseason games, but, just start to bottom, it not being a drill, but, really what he's going to do. I thought he handled it really, really well. So that was just fun to be on the headset, for all that. So we're all excited.
I want to know what channel Bryce was on, because at least when some teams, I can't talk as if I know every single team and how they operate. There's 2 channels on the radio, probably more, but I know of 2. One of them goes straight to the quarterback, and another has the offensive coordinator and the coaches. Sometimes you can get both, but there's very rarely the crossover. The reason why I say that is I think it's almost more important for a play caller to learn how to handle the conversations that are not feeding the play to the quarterback. When a position coach jumps on the headset and says, hey, T-Mac is absolutely working this corner. We need to get him on a double move. Are you able to take in that information and not automatically go to it? If anybody dabbles in gambling, and to an extent, play calling is gambling, right? You're like taking chances, playing the odds, trying to set up yourself for success. Anybody who's ever, dabbled in gambling, if somebody gives you a tip, it's really hard to not make that bet. If somebody comes up to you that you trust, somebody that you like and and says like, hey man, they got the spread all wrong. on the Cardinals game. Right? Cardinals, not only are they going to win, they're going to win by 2 scores. And you look at it and they're like a 3-point underdog, and you're like, goodness, how do I not take them money line now? It's really tough. I imagine the same is true for a play caller. Right? Hey, their defensive tackle, he's out with an injury. They got their backup in and we're bullying him. We need to run power right at him. Do you automatically just go, all right, are you that influenced, or do you fight that urge and maybe go with the play call that you think is best? That's what's more difficult. And I would love if Bryce was on that where he hears all of those conversations. Because you make Brad Idzik the play caller, not because he's just some yes man that listens to everything. You want his input on the offense, his fingerprint on it. And that's only going to come with time and confidence. So basically what I'm saying is, unless you're really confident in a gambling pick, don't tell me you like a team, because I'm going to have a hard time not. Because then you feel dumb, right? If Max just walks by and goes, hey, I love the Colts today, and I don't make the bet and the Colts win by 17, I'm going to feel like an idiot. It's the FOMO. It's the fear of missing out that gets you. Imagine your wide receivers coach says, T-Mac is working this dude. Double move right now. We got to call it. You call a run, it gets stuffed at the line, and you don't score on the drive. You're going to be like, man, I should have called the double move. Or are you going to say, no, I'm confident enough, I made the right call, it didn't work out, but I'm still setting them up for something. That's the Brad Idzik challenge. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is Football at 4, brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. When we come back, I almost said Dennis. Dennis isn't with us today. It's Max producing the show, and he is going to take us through one of our favorite games, Copper Drop, coming up.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Wake Orthopedics. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks from training camp as the regular season approaches. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Tomorrow starts tonight. The energy you have, the patience you show your family, the focus you bring to work. It all begins with sleep. I'm Megan Giggling with Parkway Sleep Health Centers. If you've been putting off getting help because you thought it would take months, Parkway is different. Most patients start care within weeks, not months, with convenient virtual visits and home sleep studies. Because life is better when you sleep well.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
I have a dare for you. After you use your old mop and bucket, put on your whitest socks and walk across the floor. Now look down. What's that gray stuff on your socks? I used to have that too, until I switched to Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop breaks down and locks away tough messes. Take the dare. Try Swiffer Power Mop. White sock approved.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used a trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
At Progressive, we know making a difference starts with making things happen. That's why we're partnering with organizations in your community to make change happen. By helping veterans get the reliable transportation they need, helping small businesses with everyday challenges, and providing aspiring homeowners with the educational resources to help them get into their first home. It's just another way we continue to innovate. Because you can't spell progressive without progress. Visit progressive.com/purpose to learn more. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Tuesday, everybody. NFL football this Thursday gets started. College football week 0, not that far beyond that. I think I saw we're like 49 days away from the Canes regular season opener, which is nuts. The reason why I say that is because I think yesterday I saw that they are Eric Robinson days away from the season, and he wore number 50. Get it? Also, there's Little League World Series going on. There's always something going on in the sports calendar. There's no dead zones anymore. Either way, we're going to help get ready for all of that by going rapid fire through a bunch of different things in a game we call Copper Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
Take it away, Max. You're leading it. What am I copying and or dropping?
All right. Well, as you mentioned, NFL football coming up right around the corner. Preseason week 1 starting on Thursday. And then we're just about a month away from week 1 of the regular season kicking off. And today it was announced that Kyler Murray will be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Are you copying or dropping that Minnesota is making the right move to bench J.J. McCarthy?
I'm copying for the reason being it's fairly obvious that Kevin O'Connell, their head coach, who I'm a fan of, I really like him as a offensive mind, he has a niche, right? He has a particular, what's the Liam Neeson movie? I have a particular set of skills. Taken. I have a particular set of skills. I will find you. That's an awful impression, but I like doing it. Kevin O'Connell has a particular set of skills. He can take a veteran quarterback with talent, with physical ability, and get the most out of him. Look at the quarterbacks that he's had success with in Minnesota. It was Carson Wentz he had a little bit of success with. It was Nick Mullins he had a little bit of success with. But really, it was Sam Darnold. He can kind of rehab some quarterbacks. And because of that, I think Kyler Murray fits a little bit better than J.J. McCarthy, right? J.J. was a project that people acted like was polished because he won a national championship. When he was at Michigan, they won the national championship. He didn't even throw for 200 yards a game, right? His average was like 195. So he was always going to be a developmental guy that they treated like he was super polished because he had won the championship, and you think the championship-winning quarterback is going to be the most pro-ready, and it just wasn't the case. So Kyler makes more sense for what the coach does. It's not always like it's. Let me think about a better way to say this. All right, here's maybe the best example in college. Ryan Mallett, the late Ryan Mallett, gigantic player, right? He's 6'7", statue, pocket passer. He started it at Michigan as a freshman. Then Rich Rodriguez took over Michigan. Remember Rich Rod? He was coming from West Virginia with Pat White and all the running. And that didn't make Ryan Mallett a bad player. It made it one that did not fit with his coach at all. So he transferred to Arkansas and ended up leading the SEC in some passing stats. It's very easy for us to see when it's like system like that, right? Like, do you fit the system? It's less easy to see if it's like this quarterback, this coach just works better with vet quarterbacks. It's not necessarily making the player a bad player or making the player a mistake. It's making it so it doesn't vibe. It doesn't link up. John Gruden, I don't think would be good for a young quarterback when he was playing. He's going to yell at you. He's going to give you a 75-word play and go, remember it. And if you don't, he's going to yell at you and embarrass you. But if you give him late career Rich Gannon, veteran that's seen everything, he'll turn him into an MVP. Like there's that stuff going on. So, yeah, I think Kevin O'Connell fits better with Kyler Murray. I think as soon as they brought him in, it was his job. And it's smart of them to just end it early, get the obvious answer public so they can start building around Kyler.
You think he's going to end up getting back to that starting job at any given point, or do you think maybe he'll find success elsewhere?
If he gets back to the starting job, Kevin O'Connell might be looking for a job. That means things are going really, really bad for Minnesota. Unless they're, like, obviously if Kyler gets hurt for a couple of games and JJ comes in, that's going to open up some doors, right? Because if he plays lights out, who knows? But barring injury, if he's playing games, things have gone horrendously. And Justin Jefferson is probably really mad about it.
Yeah. Not a great year for him or his fantasy owners last year, that's for sure. We'll go over to the hardwood now because the NBA this morning announced their opening night and Christmas Day schedule, as well as some opening week games as well. They're going to start off with a triple header on October 20th.
Correct.
That is a Tuesday. The Celtics and the Pistons will lead off at 3 o'clock. The Sixers and the Knicks will play at 7, and then the Spurs and the Thunder at 9:30. And they're kind of following a trend that the NHL has kind of set with these opening night triple headers with a first game that starts pretty early despite it being a weekday. So I'm asking, are you going to cop or drop more daytime weekday games in major sports leagues?
I'm gonna cop. I'm gonna what do you like, tattle? I'm gonna rat on some people right now. Our YouTube tracks numbers, right? It tracks who's watching, how many, what video is being watched, how long you're watching each video. During the Canes Stanley Cup run, we saw y'all watching at your desk during the workday. I'm actually very thankful for it, right? And I hope you were just as efficient getting your stuff done. But we know that if there's a game that is enticing enough, if there is a sport that has your attention enough, there is a market for sports during the day. What are the two best days on the sports calendar?
Thursday and Friday of
March
the NCAA
Madness
tournament.
And why? Because it's a Thursday and games start at like 11. It's awesome. That you don't have to watch. You don't have to. But if you want to, I think it's there. And also, every time they do it, I think they see the ratings are pretty good. And also remember this. Everything's driven by money. Media rights are driven by money. What do you think rates better at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday? A live sporting event that will at least draw the fans of that team to, hey, I'm going to bug out a little early from work, get home at 4:30 to watch this game, or whatever the regular programming is at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday, right? Some debate show for sports, or like, I don't know, a soap opera or something. I don't even know what's on in the middle of the day. It's definitely sports. Sports rate so much better. So pretty soon we're going to have Rob Doster and Goodman.
Field of 68.
Field of 68. They're doing a college basketball 24-hour opening day marathon. Where they're going to have games tipping off at midnight. They're going to have games tipping off at 6 a.m. They're going to have days like it's going to be non-stop basketball, and I think it's probably going to rate okay. Like people want sports all points of the time.
Yeah, I'm copping that as well. Anytime you can fit it into an unusual window or during the day to fill what is typically not a very busy time.
And that doesn't mean like I have to watch it, but if I want to, it'll be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only a bummer if you have like a job that like when you're on the clock, you have to pay attention. You can't ever like work ahead to get your weekend or your afternoon off. And you're a diehard fan of one of those teams. I do feel bad for you in that case, but them's be the break. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes people have jobs you can't watch at night. Maybe they're stoked. Night workers are going to be like, heck yeah, I finally get to watch a live game.
Speaking of the NBA releasing their schedule, I mentioned they released the Christmas schedule as well. Spurs and Knicks, the finals rematch. I think that's going to be their first rematch since the final. That is going to be leading off Christmas Day at noon. Heat and Celtics at 2:30. Sixers and Lakers, the LeBron return to Los Angeles at 5 p.m. Thunder, Timberwolves at 8, and then Nuggets and Warriors will close out that day at 10:30. If you're not aware, there is just one team in the NBA that has never played on Christmas Day. Do you know what team that is?
I assume since you're asking, it's a team that we cover?
It is. It is the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets have never played a game on Christmas Day. Cop or drop, the Hornets will play on Christmas before 2030.
And what you're really asking me is, will they be good enough to be one of the 10 biggest draws in the NBA in the next 4 years? 3 years, really? Because you got to be good ahead of that time. Probably not. I'm gonna drop. They were really, really buzzworthy last year. Don't get me wrong. No pun intended. Their second half did become one of the stories. Bill Simmons and some other national media were just fawning over how fun the Hornets are. But I do think if there was a truly magnetic player on the team, it would have been LaMelo Ball, and he's no longer on the team. They're kind of starting, I wouldn't say a rebuild over, but they are retooling pretty aggressively. If you would have given me maybe 3 or 4 more years, if you gave me till 2033 when a bunch of their draft picks will be coming due, I'd be more likely. But 2030, I just don't think there's enough time. Like, by 2030, you think, like, Steph Curry's still playing? Like, there's going to...
I don't know.
There's going to be guys...
Maybe like 40, 42, 43 by then.
Well, okay, then there's, like, Luka will still be around. Jokic will probably still be around. Like
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Wemby's not going anywhere.
Knippel will be in his prime, though.
Knippel will be in his prime. Who do you think's of all the players I just mentioned, who's going to be the biggest marketable star?
Knippel's the best shooter.
I don't think many people. Actually, Jokic might be. But if you only count behind the head, like volleyball set looking sky balls. No, I don't think it'll happen by 2030. Am I wrong there? Are you dejected?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think you're wrong, but you never know. Maybe next year's the year they finally play on Christmas. But it's good though. It might be a bit of a draw for like free agents to come to the Hornets. Is like I always have Christmas off. I don't ever have to go play or work. I can stay with my family. So maybe they don't need to put the Hornets on Christmas. This is an interesting one. You know, there's the old phrase is all publicity is good publicity.
Yes.
But I'm not necessarily so sure that's the case for the WNBA right now. They got a whole lot of messy off-the-court stuff, and on-the-court referee controversy seems to be a very common theme over the last couple of months, last couple of seasons, particularly when you talk about some notable players, both in terms of their stats and in terms of their off-court actions. So I'll just say, Copper Drop, is the current discussion around the NBA good for the league?
Is the current discussion, or it's I wouldn't say, other than like what you said, no publicity is bad publicity. All conversation is good conversation. I do think, you know what, I'm going to say it's good for the league if they navigate it properly moving forward.
Do you think they're going to do that?
No, I don't. I've been doing some fill-in shifts for ESPN, the national network, ESPN Radio on the weekends, and there's been a lot of WNBA conversation. And in those conversations, I've done my research. I've tried to have Kathy Engelbert, their commissioner. The way I've been describing her is she's good on a spreadsheet. She's bad in a group chat. She has done exceptional things business-wise for the league, getting the finances in order, bringing in more money, paying the players more money, getting everybody motivated financially, expanding, like very, very good there. She has been awful at hearing the players and having any kind of a relationship with them. And also how she handles the media and everything is not great. So I think her legacy has already kind of been written, and they probably need to get somebody with a little bit more PR training to run the league. If they do that, I always say sports need villains too, right? So whatever side you fall on all of these arguments that are happening on WNBA, both on the court and off the court, like you can root against the others. You need villains, right? You need heels. You need that. The best superhero movies are the ones with the best villains, not the ones with the best heroes. Like you need villains, but you also need to make sure that it doesn't become like the cliche version of it, right? You need to make sure that you don't have Jerry Springer vibes. Like you need to make sure it doesn't become a joke. So if they navigate it properly, it could be a boom. It could be, we could be looking back at the WNBA now like you look back on Michael Jordan getting punched in the face by the Detroit Pistons every time he drove to the lane. But we could also be looking back on it as like, oh, that's when they jumped the shark and they never got it back. So it's a pivot point right now. I think it can be good, but they're going to have to really change the way they've been handling things publicly. I'm playing the fence there, so I will drop that it's good for the league, but I will leave the opening that it could be if they get way better at handling things.
All right, we'll go one final copper drop here, and this is related to the Carolina Hurricanes, which we haven't gotten to talk about a lot recently because not a ton going on in the NHL, and they're still kind of in limbo with the Alexander Nikishin situation. But this is regarding another defenseman on the team, Jaccob Slavin, who was ranked 12th in the league on their, I believe it is the NHL Network or NHL.com list of top 20 defensemen in the NHL. Slavin fell at 12. Last season, he was ranked number 8, so a slide of 4 spots, although he did miss half of this last season due to injury, and then had to kind of recover and get back to full game speed. All this to say, cop or drop, that Jaccob Slavin will be ranked higher on this list heading into next season.
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Actually, I will answer this one, cop or drop, and then I want to have a bigger conversation about this. Will he be ranked higher next offseason? I really, and this is not a knock on Jaccob Slavin, it's a knock on the voting process. I think the only way that Jaccob Slavin is higher next year than he is this year is if they win the Stanley Cup again. So you're asking me, are they going to win the Stanley Cup again? I mean, I'm not going to say no. I'm copping it. They're going to win the Stanley Cup again. Until they're knocked off, they're king of the hill. The reason why I say that is, it's for some reason we have a really hard time. And when I say we, I just mean NHL media, NHL world, have a really hard time with the defensive defenseman argument. That's actually, you act like, or you said, there hasn't really been anything going on with the Canes, and we're in limbo with Alexander Nikishin. This is an annual tradition, right? We start getting the offseason lists, then they're going to turn into the preseason lists, and the tradition is we're going to say the term defensive defenseman 5,000 times between now and the start of the regular season, because that's what we have to do to argue for Jaccob Slavin. And as Carolina Hurricanes fans, as Carolina Hurricanes followers, we love Jaccob Slavin because we feel he impacts winning, and we feel he is great for the Canes culture, and we feel he is one of the best defensemen in the NHL. He is a defensive defenseman. And I'm not going to go as far as the yearly ritual of it has the word defense in the name of the description on how you win the Norris Trophy. It's defenseman, not offensive defenseman. It's a defense. I'm not going to do that. I just kind of did, but I'm not going to do it anymore. The way, if you don't do the big flashy things, okay? If you don't do the fantasy stats, right? In fantasy hockey, right? You need points. You need assists. You need goals. You need point production. If you're not doing that, you need to be a part of absolute dynasties to get your due. Absolute dynasties to get your due. And this is not just hockey. Do you know who's probably going to go into the Hall of Fame? Draymond Green. Probably going to go into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Do you know who would never in 100 years get into the Hall of Fame? Somebody with the exact same stats as Draymond Green that played for a team that didn't win 4 championships. If he played for a team that made it, I don't care if he made it to the postseason every single year of his career. If he was eliminated and didn't win the rings, 0% chance. If you look at the NFL Hall of Fame, loaded with players who would have been seen as pretty good role players, but they were on the 90s Cowboys, or they're on the 2000s Patriots, or they were on the Pittsburgh Steelers with Bradshaw and Mean Joe Green. And because of that, they're seen as these all-time greats. So Jaccob Slavin, if he doesn't score, if he doesn't enter into the top 10 in point-producing defensemen, for him to get his just due, he has to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is the quintessential winning player, which we all think he is, but the only way everyone else is going to believe he is if he walks away with 3 cups. And on top of that, he's going to be getting older. I think his game is going to age gracefully because he's not somebody that depends on being the fastest or the strongest out there. It's a lot of skill. But as he gets older, the public perception of him will be, oh, he's lost a step. Even if he's still out there, best penalty kill and all these, best shorthanded, blah, 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 blah. Like even if he's still doing that, the perception will change unless they're winning cups. Unless the Canes go on a run, which they could, but also it's never assumed. But if they go on a run and win, 2 more cups by the time Jaccob Slavin hangs them up, he'll go higher on lists like this. because he has to. Because winning teams just get that glow. It's actually kind of frustrating. If you look at we were talking earlier this week about a list on The Athletic of current players in the NHL that and their Hall of Fame chances on, like, if they were to retire today, where would they be? And like Matthew Tkachuk, I think, was higher than he probably should have been. But you get a couple cups, people just start vaulting you up. And there were a few like that. So Jaccob Slavin 12th. And I'll give you the range that he's in. He's not with the Makars and Hughes and Werenski's all the way at the top. And I don't even think Canes fans really put him in that group. But I'll give you from, say, 10 to a couple after. Evan Bouchard, 10. Charlie McAvoy, 11. Jaccob Slavin, 12. Adam Fox, 13. 14th is Brock Faber. I think he could jump to the top half of that little group, but they have to prove that all of the things we talk about that are intangibles that he brings or that are not statistics, they don't show up in a box score. But, right, he had an unbelievable poke check. He had an unbelievable deflection and all these things that don't really show up in the fantasy stats. The only way they'll believe that those things are more important to winning than points is if he is once again taking the cup to charities and to his church next year.
Yeah. The thing with his ranking this year is, I think when he came back from the injury, I think it helped him a little bit heading into the playoffs to not have as much wear and tear from the regular season. But I think you could pretty visibly see that he had lost a little bit of a step in terms of his speed, because while he's not necessarily like, Ehlers, McDavid, Marty Necas, like guys that absolutely fly around, like his speed and his skating is definitely a strength of his game. And I don't know if the speed was fully there when he came back.
I think it was a injury and conditioning.
Yeah.
I don't think that's him like, oh, he's never going to be fast again. I think it was the situation.
So you could potentially count on with the off season, some more time to rehab and recover, that hopefully he'll get back to kind of that full speed, full go for next season. But couple the fact that, and I'm not saying anybody played well in this game, but I think about like game 1 of the conference final this past year, like maybe one of the worst games that he's played in his career. And he doesn't really have a lot of bad games.
Honestly, I'd be surprised if it's not on the Mount Rushmore of like worst hockey games he's played in his life.
So that's like, in terms of the ranking for this year, I think honestly, and it's not something that you see with Carolina a lot, and maybe it is because they won the cup this year, I think maybe him being at 12 based on the year that he had is kind of more reputation than anything, because I think he is a known commodity at this point. I think at full strength he would deserve to be there, but maybe they're just not holding that against him.
I think the point you just made is exactly what I'm trying to articulate. He has had better years significantly and been ranked lower than this by the rankers that be, because they didn't get the confirmation in the most obvious way that he is a winning player. He's a winning player every year he plays very like any kind of significant role. But he has not gotten the boost that he did this year for winning the cup, which goes to show he's not really judged by how he plays. He's judged by how obviously he can be called a winning player, because you win the cup, he gets credit for it. And you should get credit for winning a cup, but it's just shows they still haven't figured out how to accurately judge Jaccob Slavin, because he should have been higher in other years.
Yeah, at full strength, he is absolutely a top 10 defenseman in the NHL, which is where he was in the preseason rank last year. So for him to fall a little bit, only to really fall 4 spots, actually is really impressive, considering he missed half the season with an injury. But again, they got the team success with the Stanley Cup. I mean, in the playoffs, like
the Jaccob Slavin rankings, they've ebb and flow in a very particular way. As soon as there's a reason for everybody to watch him play, he goes up. And then the more and more the Canes are buried on national television or not being watched, whatever, he falls. And then, like, Four Nations, everyone's like, oh, my gosh, he's so good.
He puts on a USA jersey. Everyone's like, wow, who is this guy? He's so good.
Then the Olympics, and then down. Oh, the Stanley Cup final, and then down. Like, when there's those premier events that he participates in and people have to watch him, he goes up in rating. And then when people are just box score watching and going, no points, he falls until you get to watch him again.
So hopefully he comes back full strength, is back in the top 10 next year, and maybe even Keandre Miller can find his way up there, because I think the whole season he was
Nikishin.
Maybe. The whole season he was good, but in the playoffs in particular, Keandre Miller, I don't know how many defensemen you can find in the league that you would rather have over the way that he was playing in the playoffs.
The Miller-Walker pairing was glorious, particularly in the first couple of series that they had. Incredible. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Speaking of incredible, Maynard Service Company. When it comes to fixing your heating system, your cooling system, the plumbing work in your house, electrical work in your house, Maynard Service Company can do it all, and they do so at an insane level. I wish we had analytics for service companies so we could sit here and go like, their water heater fixes above replacement level is at an all-time high. Their smooth fixes and low, very affordability ranking, I don't know, make up some kind of acronym, for them is best in the league. Because I guarantee you, if we had analytics for service companies, Maynard Service Company would be the top of the top. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical work. Give them a call, whether you need something fixed and it's not urgent, something's fixed and it is urgent, like, water's coming down from your ceiling, or if it's just a maintenance schedule that you want to get set up to avoid needing things fixed. Maynard Service Company, here is the number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at maynardservices.com, MAYNOR services.com. When we come back, Max looks around our YouTube, brings it on air. The comments, that is. It's called a frenzy, a feedback frenzy. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
It's disgusting. It's annoying. If a billionaire tells you, hey, I just bought another yacht, are you like, wow, amazing, way to go? You're like, cool, rub it in. I don't have air conditioning. I don't think this is fun for other fans around Major League Baseball. The Dodgers can get anybody they want, and the worst part about this is a lockout is all but signed, sealed, delivered.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite too. Extra value meals are back.
Now, save on what you crave. Get a 10-piece chicken McNuggets, medium fries, and medium Coke for just $8. That's one unbeatable deal. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, everybody, I told you earlier, I'll tell you again because there's still time. 99.9 The Fan Fan Zone tickets for the Durham Bulls today are still available. And if you don't know, you should buy now because the season's been going on a long time. But every Tuesday, when there is a Tuesday home game for the Durham Bulls, you can get tickets in the 99.9 The Fan Fan Zone for $9.99. See what we did there? See how that adds up? That is a wildly affordable, excellent activity for you and the fam, you and the friends, you and whoever. And I believe there's some cool food options today, some deals and things out at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. The game's at 6:45, so you have 2 hours. You can. It's not like so spontaneous, but if you want to make a quick move, you can make your way on out to Durham. 99.9 The Fan Zone tickets for $9.99 until they are sold out. Now that you have that bit of important information, as you turn the car around and start driving for Durham Bulls Athletic Park, you can hear us get into a feedback frenzy. All right, Max, dive into the hidden corners of the internet and bring out some frenzy for us.
Well, I actually didn't have to go too far for this one because actually this is from the beginning of the show in our live chat. Someone, Panthers 3000, came in and said, I should know when a feedback frenzy is by now, but in case it's today, and he left us this comment here. If Bryce Young starts 7 games, wins 4, touchdown to interception ratio 10-6 with 1,100 yards, then has a season-ending injury, do you sign him to a long-term deal?
Okay, 7 games, wins 4. I need to write all this down. What are his stats?
Touchdown to interception ratio of 10-6, 10 touchdowns, 4 picks, 1,100 yards, then season-ending injury.
Probably not. Season-ending injury worries me. That's also very, very varied, right? What kind of season-ending injury are we talking about? 7 games, 4 wins. Looking at the schedule, I mean, I need to know so much. How does the season end? Because if Haynes King, no, I'm kidding. If Kenny Pickett goes in there and you ball out, maybe it wasn't him. How did you win the games? How many fumbles? How many sacks? Were you putting up 30 points a game? It becomes very, very difficult. Also, Chicago, Atlanta, Cleveland. That's how you start the season. And Chicago, obviously, there's personal battles there. If you beat Atlanta and Cleveland, I'm not writing home about it. Now we're halfway to your win total. Granted, if you win 2 of the others, you've done pretty good. If you beat 2 out of Chicago, Detroit, Philly, Tampa, and Green Bay, that's a pretty good day there. So I'm just so reluctant. I'm terrified of looking at what happened to the Broncos with Russell Wilson, the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa. Like, if you pay the wrong guy, you really set back your franchise. So I would still say no. And by the way, like, you still have him on his 5th-year option next year. And if you need it, you have 2 franchise tags you can play him on. You have control if you need it. So I'm not doing it, even if those are the exact stats.
All right. We've already got a comment from our discussion earlier about Bryce Young, Brad Idzik. Bryce Young going to play 10 to 20 snaps per Dave Canales in the preseason game on Saturday against Buffalo. This is from Danger Zone, who says, we can have a great season even if BY is not the guy. We have lots of good pieces in place.
You cannot have a great season with this roster without really good quarterback play. You can have a okay season without really good quarterback play.
They could probably go 8-9 again.
You go 8-9. Heck, maybe some things go your way. You go 9-8. But you need really good quarterback play. Is there a non-zero chance that even if it's not I almost call him BY. I never call him BY. If it's not Bryce, is there a non-zero chance that like Kenny Pickett puts it all together? Maybe. It's not a big chance, but perhaps. You could catch lightning in a bottle that way, but I don't think this roster is good enough that you can Trent Dilfer your way to a really good season. Like, I think you need to have really good quarterback play, and most teams in the NFL need really good quarterback play to reach their ceiling. So I disagree with that a little bit, although I guess technically it doesn't have to come from Bryce. Like, somebody else could step up and catch fire. You could Nick Foles it, but that's just so rare. So it's that's just hope.
All right, this was from a comment from, I believe this was on Friday. We brought on Pat Welter and Chris Lee from WRAL Sports, who were there in Canton for the Hall of Fame game, and we discussed the biggest takeaways for the Panthers. from that game. And this is a comment from Paul on that video, who says, Panthers need to add an experienced inside linebacker and defensive tackle, as they are pretty thin with their injuries and players not producing. Defensive tackle has lost A'Shawn Robinson, Turk Wharton, LeBron Ray retired, and Bobby Brown is just getting back in shape.
Yeah, I mean, you think defensive tackles are just growing on trees? It's when players get hurt, it's just bad luck. It's tough. Right now, the way that their interior defensive line is looking, you have Derek Brown, you have Bobby Brown, you have Jared Harrison Hunt, who is a player that some within that team are pretty high on. You have Cam Jackson, who you drafted and you better be able to trust. Aaron Hall, the Duke undrafted free agent. Like, yeah, is that what you were hoping for? No. Do you want Turk Wharton to come back healthy? Absolutely. Oh, by the way, you also have Lee Hunter, the second-round pick. At a certain point, you keep drafting guys at a position, they got to start playing. And if you keep signing guys in free agent, you got to trust them. So I agree. It doesn't look great on paper, at least not to me, but there may not be an answer to that. Off-ball linebacker, I mean, you can only spend so much at a non-premium position, and you're spending your money on Devin Lloyd. So he has to be so good that he can cover for the one next to him. That's kind of the way you got to look at that one. You can't have like the two highest paid off-ball backers in the division. So you've spent your money. Now you just got to make it work.
This is another comment from that video regarding the running back room. This is from Joseph, who says, HN is just a guy. Haven't seen anything special in a year. Dylan is a true power back and needs to be running back 3. Horn can handle returns.
Okay, I love the selective application of your logic. And when I say I love it, I mean we all do it as fans, right? The players we like, we only see the positives. The players we don't like, we only see the negatives. You don't like Trevor Etienne because he hasn't done anything in at least a year? I'm not kidding. A.J. Dillon hasn't done anything of note since 2023 at the most recent.
He scored a touchdown in the Hall of Fame game, though.
Untouched. People act like it was a power run because he fell over. It was the Hall of Fame game on the goal line. You think anyone's stepping in front of a running? Come on. What you'd really need if you were going to have an A.J. Dillon that would help your team is like 2021 or 2022 A.J. Dillon. Which, if you think that's going to happen, cool. Like, I don't love depending on running backs once they get into their upper 20s if they haven't been very good all along the way. But if you think A.J. Dillon could, fantastic. But then you can't turn around and say, like, we haven't seen anything from Achane in a year. It's like you haven't seen anything from Dillon in, I don't know, like a third of a decade, half a decade. Like, there's been some time there. So I think beyond the top 2 in the running back room, there's a lot to be desired, and I would not be surprised if they don't claim somebody once other teams start waiving running backs.
All right, this is a comment from a video, I believe, from yesterday, where we were talking about the starters going to play this week in preseason week 1. Most teams would be their first game. Obviously, had the Hall of Fame game last week. This is from 44 Rose, who said, why are fans acting like starters have never played in preseason, or that it's been the reason they've lost week 1 games? 2023, we went 2-15. I don't think preseason would have mattered much. 2024 Saints started out their season blowing out Carolina and Dallas, and 2025 Jags were just a better team.
Well, that's what I like to do. I like to say, there's no way we can fix our problems. Let's just throw our hands up and not try. Like, no. You've started horrendously slow for enough years in a row that you better try something different. Just throw your hands up. Well, we were playing the juggernaut Saints, who were good for 2 games, and then the wheels fell off. What are you going to do when Derek Carr's coming for you? Like, he was retired by the end of that year, wasn't he? Bryce Young and the offense in particular need to play better at the beginning of the year. If you have a better option for how to get them playing better week 1 than trying something different with their reps in training camp, I'd love to hear it. Like, give me your idea. Are you changing their diet in training camp? What are we doing here? If, like, I It frustrates me in life when there's something I'm trying to achieve and it's truly just wait. Like if there's something you want and there's nothing you can do, I always want to be able to like work harder, try something. Let's see if this works. Let's eliminate this as a possibility. Like you were playing really good teams week 1. I don't even know why we had preseason. We were going to lose those games regardless. We should have took the first 3 weeks of training camp off. No. You got I hate to use a cliche, but I'm going to go full Al Pacino on you. Football, like life, is a game of inches. And the inches are everywhere around us. It's not about being better than the teams that they were playing. Maybe there was nothing in preseason that could have had them better than the Saints that year. Nothing. Could you have gotten 1% closer? That's what football is. You're just trying to get a little bit closer to the teams in front of you.
Could you have not been down, 30-0 at halftime of that game?
Could your first pass have been incomplete rather than interception? Could your first interception have waited till the third play? Just get one little bit better. If he played a little bit earlier in preseason, if he had a few more reps, if he had a little bit more chemistry, if he knocked off a little bit more of the first game jitters, could he have been 1% better? Start there. There's a book out there written by Myron Rolle, Rhodes Scholar, #1 recruit in the country, NFL player, all ACC safety. It's called The 2% Way, and it's all about just getting 2% better each day. And if you do that, you'll be an all-time great. The commenter, no thanks. There's someone else out there better than me. I don't want to get better. I don't want to do better. We were going to lose anyway. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, I got to get out of that angry, combative mindset to talk about something I am a big fan of. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. How about that? If you get 2% better every day, if you're in sales and you sell 2% more every day, and every day you do that, you're going to have a nice little chunk of change that you can take to Bailey's Fine Jewelry to get your holy grail watch. Maybe it's a pre-owned and vintage Rolex. Maybe it's a pre-owned and vintage Cartier. Maybe it's a Speedmaster, the iconic Omega. Maybe it's a Hamilton. Maybe it's a Bell & Ross. Maybe, I could go on and on. They have them all. And maybe it's a watch that will only be there September 25th or 26th for their pre-owned watch event, where they will have not just your everyday watch selection, which, at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, it's not an everyday watch selection. Their everyday watch selection is already special, but there will be hundreds of additional pre-owned and vintage models being brought in exclusively for this event. It is September 25th and 26th, so I'm giving you enough time to make your plans. You do not have any excuse. It'll last 2 days, and there will be one-of-a-kind luxury watches in the building that you can try on and potentially walk out with. Pre-owned watch event at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, their Village District location in Raleigh, September 25th and 26th. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, the starting five. Don't go anywhere.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Yeah, can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. My favorite place to go in the Triangle for the best wings on the planet. How about this special? Every Monday, half-priced wings all day. Dine-in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Everything on the menu is amazing. Pizza, apps, and always great drink specials. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and their pet-friendly patio, too. Online, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's the weather.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Some strong to severe storms are possible this evening, and we could see a second round of storms roll through around and after midnight. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a low of 73. Wednesday, it's partly cloudy with a high of 93 and isolated storm chances.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day down 184 points to 53,791.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5. The starting 5 is brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. We do good work at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. That's the Baker name, Baker Home Exteriors, bakerhomeexteriors.com. And I should say, we use it here. I was walking in today. There's some work being done on our roof, and guess what truck was in the parking lot? Baker Roofing. And I went, oh, good. Now I'm confident it's going to be fixed. We're going to be A-OK. No more leaks. I don't even know if it was a leak they were fixing, but there was something they were fixing, and I'm now confident that everything, all our equipment, everything's going to be A-OK. BakerHomeExteriors.com. With that being said, let's jump into the starting 5. As always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Do we want to play a game here real quick? This can be an interactive game for everybody. ESPN put out a estimate, a range of how much the average power conference starter at each position, talking football, is paid in revenue share and guaranteed NIL. I'm going to say a position. Think to yourself how much you think the average starter at that position would receive. And we're talking average here. Like, Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State, the potentially best player in the country, makes significantly more than what they give for a range for wide receivers. But we're talking about kind of, what are there, 68 power conference schools? I'd say 40 of them fit into this range is kind of how I'm looking at it. How about wide receivers? Everybody right now, think to yourself, how much does a starting number 1 wide receiver get? All right, lock it in. Say it out loud if you're in the car with someone else. ESPN says the typical range is between $400,000 and $1 million. That's a big range, first of all. And if you go further down, wide receiver 2s, 500 to 600K. Wide receiver 3s, between 200 and 300,000. And there's, if you think there's a competition for wide receiver 1, maybe you take the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 money, put it into a pool, split it in half. There you go, right? You can be creative with it. How about edge rushers? Edge rushers. These are the stars of the defense, the quarterback pressurers. Power conference edges. Everybody think right now. How much do you think the typical starting edge rusher gets? And remember, there's probably 2 of them on each team now. Between $500,000 and $1.2 million. Higher than wide receivers. I was surprised by that. All right, let's switch up the game real quickly here. It's a small difference, but cornerbacks and safeties are not the exact same. They have the same ceiling, but their floor is not the same. Which do you think makes more money, corners or safeties? Corners. They say they have corners as $400,000 to $900,000. They have safeties as $300,000 to $900,000. That is extremely surprising to me. In the NFL, corners make a boatload more than safeties. Corners are drafted much higher than safeties. For some reason, at the college level, there's a higher supply of corners. But at the NFL, the difference between a college safety and a pro safety and a college corner and a pro corner, I guess, are different. Still fascinating there. All right, Max, give me one more position. Could be any position that we haven't done yet because we don't have time to do them all.
Tight end.
Tight end U. Power conference tight ends, average starter. How much do you think they make? Think, lock it in. You want to change it? Go ahead. Final answer. The answer is $300,000 to $600,000. The issue here, if you read the article, the reason why tight ends maybe don't get paid as much is because most schools would rather have three with slightly different skill sets that you can rotate in rather than the one super highly paid. There are a few out there that are super highly paid, but really you want to have like your bully blocking tight end, your hybrid, and your pass catching tight end, and you want to pay them all a third of what you would have to pay, like a Kenyon Sadiq or one of these top drafted guys. The entire article's on ESPN.com. You can go check it out. You want to know any other position. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Chance here as Svechnikov jumped over the boards. Look at it. Oh, son of the game over! His first of the year! Jaccob Slavin, who wins it in overtime!
So the NHL media, which is a Twitter handle, at NHL Media, it's a version of the NHL-owned media producers, which obviously is the NHL Network. They've been putting out periodically over the last couple weeks their top 20 lists. There was top 20 wings, right wings, left wings, wingers. Guess what? No Canes on the list. Their top 20 defensemen came out yesterday. And we get to have our annual rite of passage of arguing about Jaccob Slavin. Jaccob Slavin, 12th, just behind Charlie McAvoy, just above Adam Fox, who are 11th and 13th. Do you know what's a bummer? And we had this full conversation earlier in the show. If you're interested in it, we don't have enough time to rehash it all right now. You can go back. You can scroll back on the YouTube live stream. You can find it on the podcast, a bunch of different ways. But do you know what's a bummer for me, Max? And this is very selfish of me. Slavin's 32, right? He's getting in, what do you consider mid-30s? Is 33 mid-30s?
I think you'd have to get 34.
34, okay.
Mid.
So
I think 33 is still like early mid, maybe.
Okay, so he's right on the edge of early and mid-30s, right? He's getting there. He's 32 years old right now, birthday in May. I've always wanted Slavin to have one season where he perhaps, and this is personal, and I know that he would never want it, and I know that Rod Brindamore definitely doesn't want it, but I always wanted 1 year where he perhaps was like, you know what, maybe I don't have to be in the perfect position defensively every single time. I'm going to take some chances and go try to score some goals and get involved offensively and maybe rack up a couple of secondary assists because I'm pushing the tempo, just to see what it would look like if you gave him his defensive ability with more selfishness offensively. Because he flashed, like every now and then he'll take like a tough angle shot and you're like, whoa, didn't know you had that in your bag of tricks. And like, what if he chased a little bit more of that? I don't think we're ever going to, I think he's past that point of like, now he's just gonna do his thing for the rest of his career.
Well, let's not forget he won the accuracy shooting at the
exactly.
All-Star game.
He's got it in the bag of tricks. But like, we're never going to see it at a volume enough that it's going to make the rest of the league pay attention. You know what I mean? And that's a bummer because I do think he could have had a Norris Trophy year if he just played the game a little bit, right? But now he's won a cup. He's the best defensive defenseman in the league. People are kind of cool with that. That's going to be his legacy. I would say outside chance at rising up the list if the Canes win a bunch more cups and just everybody gets that glow. But, I don't think we're ever going to see what a 15-goal scoring, 20-goal scoring Jaccob Slavin or a 40-point scoring Jaccob Slavin looks like. At least not from this point forward. It's a bummer. But I still appreciate Slavin, and I think he's awesome. So not that much of a bummer. 12th on the list, and we'll let you know where Aho comes in as centers, and I'm sure there'll be a coach's list, and Brenda Moore will be criminally low on that list. We'll have all of those conversations. That's number 4. How about number 3?
Second body, Hachimura, and he turns it over. Get it ahead for James. Slaps it over to Kennard. Lakers are down by 3 for the tie. It's good. LeBron James is money.
The NBA released part of their schedule, some of the bigger games today. They opened their season October 20th. It's going to be a triple header. It's going to start at 3 p.m. Eastern with Boston, the Celtics, at the Detroit Pistons. Then I would say the headliner, but perhaps, actually there's a couple headliners. 7 p.m. will be Philadelphia and LeBron James at the defending champion New York Knicks. And then 9:30, the nightcap for us here on the East Coast will be OKC, the Thunder, at the San Antonio Spurs. Max, rank those 3 games by watchability. The Max Gorin watchability index says blank, start with number 3, is the third most exciting game up to number 1.
The Celtics Pistons is obviously third.
I agree with that. That's why we're getting it out of the way. That's why I wanted you to say it first. This next one is tough, though.
The matinee game. Yeah, the other two, it's tough because the Thunder Spurs, the West Coast rival, or not West Coast, but Western Conference rivalry. Those two teams are running the West. They got all this young talent.
It feels like they're going to be around longer than the other two teams.
And they're just going to do battle after battle. But then you've got this reconstructed Sixers team with LeBron and Jaylen Brown, and they're going up against the defending champs. Just for the LeBron intrigue, I think that has to go to 1. But, it's such a thin margin because that Spurs Thunder game to cap it off is going to be, I'm sure it's going to be incredible. It's probably going to be super physical. They're probably going to be playing really intense for an opening night game because those two teams have just gone at each other, and it should be really entertaining. So I'm looking forward to it. 2 of those games a little bit more than the third one, but it should still be a good opening night for the NBA.
I'm a Sixers fan, so Sixers. But if I try to be objective, I think it's the night game because the Knicks Sixers has the potential to be really sloppy because the Knicks are not paying attention to the game. They're raising a banner, and the Sixers are brand new, right? Like they're not going to have chemistry. I assume all those vets are going to play very little in the exhibition games. But OKC and San Antonio, they know everything about each other, and they're young enough to be full steam ahead from the jump. So I actually think that could be better basketball. They also revealed the Christmas games. We're going to do the very same thing, Max, so get ready. San Antonio at the Knicks at noon. Miami at the Celtics, 2:30. Philly at Lakers. That's a return for LeBron at 5. OKC at Minnesota at 8. And then Denver at Golden State at 10:30. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Most watchable for you, Max.
Heat Celtics is a very, very clear last place.
Okay.
I don't think the Heat
Celtics
are going to be that
just
good.
getting no love.
Well, it's not
There's
even that.
Giannis on
they have Giannis, but they have no shooters. I don't think
North
the Heat are going to be
Carolina
very good.
legend Bam Adebayo, meaning state of.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to be very good, even with Giannis. But Giannis was on a team that wasn't very good for the last couple of years, so kind of just more of the same, but at least he gets to go to the beach now. That's a clear 5th for me. Then I would probably put Thunder T-Wolves at 4. We'll go Nuggets Warriors 3.
Back to OKC versus Philly again.
Sixers Lakers, I'll put 2. And then for the finals rematch, also leading off the day at noon, that'll be my number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think the next season for every sport should start with a rematch of the championship. The opener should be primetime game 1 rematch of the championship. The NFL does it a lot with that Thursday game. They have that rematch, but it would be make them raise the banner in front of the team that could have done it. you're gonna get electricity.
Christmas in general, now that the NFL is kind of horning in on it too, like it's just a full sports calendar all day on Christmas, which I don't personally mind, but I feel like you could spread that out a little bit more to other days.
Is your family cool with that?
Have the TV on, or you have it on in the background whenever you're doing, whatever, opening gifts or
they're
you got
they're
the
trying to
dinner or
sing
something.
carols, and you're yelling at Anthony Edwards to crash the boards.
Hornets aren't playing, so I won't be that impassioned.
My family's a sports family. We have sports on regardless. That is number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
It is rare when a college coach, especially in this time of year, college football coach, when I'm talking to a college football coach and they say something that truly like gets my imagination running, because most coaches this time of year, well, we're just trying to get better, right? We're working. Camp is tough. We're excited. Position battles, iron sharpens iron. So when we had Blake Harrell, but it doesn't mean you don't have those conversations. You still want the insight into the position battles, or how are you replacing this guy in the portal? You still want to hear it, but it's difficult to like get my eyebrows to raise. Blake Harrell, head coach of ECU, I don't want to say caught me off guard, but said something very interesting yesterday when he was on the show. Let's see if you find it as interesting as I did. Here's Blake Harrell on specifically having a few players waiting on the court rulings to be eligible as a fifth-year player, ready to jump in and help ECU. Here's Blake Harrell.
We're kind of waiting to sit and seeing on this class of 22, just kind of where it goes. We got 3 guys who would be eligible to return if it kind of folds through. I know there's about a dozen teams out there that already added players back, so we're just kind of waiting to see where that goes. We start school next Monday, so we're kind of under a time crunch a little bit, so hopefully it clears up pretty quick.
You do have players, though, that you're aware are kind of just waiting on that call?
Yeah, the 3 kids we have, J.D. Lampley was an all-conference player for us last year. Sam Danka was a starter for us last year, and Marlon Gunn was a starter at running back, and actually had the big run in the bowl game. They got called back with the inverted whistle.
I feel for everybody involved here. Obviously, it could be good for ECU, like players, talents, all-conference players showing back up. But I feel for a player that's running with the ones right now. Like if you're the starting running back or you're the starting lineman and you might just have your job taken in the middle of training camp.
The timing of this whole the wide sweeping injunction, but all these court cases. It's just for football particularly, it's bad because the season's about to start and you want to have roster certainty. But I feel like they could have cleared this up at maybe an earlier time. You would hope.
I also would throw this in there. I feel for the players that are waiting, because what if the court doesn't looks at your situation and says you're not eligible and you've just been waiting and training for one more year and go get a job, I guess. It's over and you didn't know it was over. And I feel for the coaches because for the most part, I'm not going to say everyone, but overwhelmingly, you don't grind through becoming a college football coach, which is not an easy life, particularly when you're paying your dues, because you enjoy walking up to a player that's working really hard and going hey, your job just got taken by a guy that just showed up. There's a lot of awkward conversations that are going to happen. And I imagine if it's happening at ECU, it's happening at a lot of schools. Maybe actually think it might be not Ohio State and not Texas, because their guys are probably signing professional deals for the most part and not just waiting around to come back. But group of 5 schools, you have all conference players all the time that just go pro in something other than sports. They might be waiting around and working out thinking they can come back. And that's could sway the power in something like the American Conference. And the American Conference has a chance to put a team in the CFP. There's some changes that are going to happen between now and the start of college football that, from a roster standpoint, could shake everything up. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. Speaking of roster battles, position battles, not knowing who's the starter, we're starting to get a little bit of clarity on which positions are up for grabs for the Carolina Panthers. Maybe the best way you can get clarity is just to have the head coach say, yeah, they're in a competition, which is what happened with the second off-ball linebacker position, the second middle linebacker position. Devin Lloyd, his spot is signed, sealed, delivered. When he signed his contract as a free agent, he's a starter. The other inside linebacker seems to be a two-man race right now between Trevin Wallace and Claudin Cherlis. Trevin Wallace was the assumed starter until he was playing in the Hall of Fame preseason game with the players who did not have a locked-in starting position. It's a wake-up call right there. So the off-ball linebacker position is up for grabs for the Panthers, and I would say they need to figure it out quick for the simple fact of they've got injuries on that defensive side of the ball, right? They have Turk Wharton out with the neck. We've known that for a while, but they lost Nick Scorton. Derek Brown has not been practicing with knee soreness. Now, you hope that doesn't turn into anything, but it's something to monitor. If you have all these changing, moving pieces in the front seven, you want to have as much stability as you can at all of the other positions. So somebody's got to grab that job by the horns. Other positions that could be up for grabs. I said this earlier. I don't know if it's a position battle or if they might even not be ready for the position battle yet. But running back, I think Jonathan Brooks is kind of in the plans to be the number one, and maybe one day eventually, but not quite yet because of the injuries he's coming off of. And Chuba Hubbard is good enough in the meantime, but there might be more of a competition there than I originally anticipated. Wide receiver 3 is up for grabs. That would be Xavier Legette and the Funky Bunch. I don't know what else to – there's a lot of names. Jimmy Horn Jr., Bryson Tremaine, David Moore, Jasim Reed, John Mechie. Somebody who's not on the roster. Could be any of them. I think right now – do you know what's a really fun conversation? Right now, maybe we'll do this at one point because it's truly like a grab bag lotto ticket. Who will be third? Both questions are third. Who will be third on the Panthers in receiving yards, and who will be third on the Panthers in rushing yards? Because first in receiving yards, Tedero McMillan. Second, Jalen Coker. First in rushing yards, likely Chuba Hubbard. Second, Jonathan Brooks, or vice versa. Who's third on those lists? Because you don't even really have the cop out of going tight end, because are you going Tommy Tremble? He hasn't been dynamic in the passing game in recent years. Are you going to Jatavian Sanders? He's been even less dynamic, despite the fact that he has a skill set. Are you going Xavier Legette? You confident in that one? For running, it might be Bryce Young, but it could be somebody like A.J. Dillon, could be somebody like Trevor Etienne, could be someone who's not on the roster. Third leading receiver, third leading rusher for the Panthers. Who do you think it's going to be? Let me know on Twitter, @Donnelly Sports, or you can drop them in the YouTube live stream comments. Max, you got a feeling on those?
I was going to say A.J. Dillon, but I think maybe it will be Bryce Young.
Bryce Young's an interesting option.
I think A.J. Dillon will be the running back 3.
Haynes King? In a particular role, Taysom Hill role?
That'd be a more significant role than I think he'll have, but...
Fake punts? Couple 60-yard fake punt runs, and all of a sudden you're in the mix. Who's the third leading receiver for the Panthers?
So let's see. It's McMillan, Coker, and then
I'll give you the nominees: Xavier Legette, Tommy Tremble, Jatavian Sanders, Jimmy Horn Jr., Jasim Reed, David Moore, Bryson Tremaine, Jonathan Brooks, Chuba Hubbard, Haynes King in a Taysom Hill role.
I figured they got to be passing out of the backfield a decent bit, so I'll say Chuba Hubbard. Even though I know that's not necessarily his forte.
Thing. That's not his thing.
But I don't know if I have faith in Jonathan Brooks to make it through the season healthy.
At one point in time yesterday in practice, there was a throw from Kyle Trask to Felipe Franks, which is just a generation of Florida Gators quarterbacks hanging out in an NFL practice. Felipe Franks now a tight end for the Panthers. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's more position battles to go. It should be a fun camp and fun preseason. The starting five was brought to you by the Baker family and Baker Home Exteriors. The Baker family has roofed the Carolinas since 1915. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Always good work. BakerHomeExteriors.com. We're going to take a break, but we need numbers game contestants right now. Call in 919-860-5326 for your chance to not only compete in the numbers game, but also win a pair of tickets to the Rip X Card Show at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park from September 26th through September 27th. That is the new hot thing. Ripping cards, finding your Grail cards. If you want a pair of tickets to the Rip X Card Show, call in now and win the numbers game, and we'll give it to you. 919-860-5326. Call in now. Numbers game next.
Hey everyone, Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Loan Pronto. If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to, but you can still get the cash that you need out of your home. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000. They paid off their credit cards. They paid off their existing HELOC. They remodeled their kitchen and saved over $1,500 per month. It gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process. And listen, no closing costs. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto now. Leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now. 919-381-1760. That's 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. Touchdown! Washington wins on a Hail Mary!
Herbert in the pocket. He flings it right side for McConkey. He's got it this time for the touchdown. Going to scramble at the 5-2-1. Touchdown, Carolina. Bryce Young.
The NFL returns August 14th on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
A lot has changed since 1915. The way the Baker family treats people hasn't. They've roofed the Carolinas for over 100 years. The motto puts it plainly: we shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. Trust the team that's kept that promise for generations. Baker Home Exteriors. Always good work. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com.
Out here, you know the drill. Animals are hungry, dogs are getting muddy, and you just noticed you're low on feed. Stocking up at Tractor Supply is easy on your wallet with our unbeatable prices on select shavings, retriever dog food, and Producer's Pride animal and poultry feed. From backyards to barnyards, we've got everything to keep your pets, animals, and livestock well fed and comfortable with low prices all summer. At Tractor Supply.
Meineke's highly skilled and certified technicians always treat your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care using the best state-of-the-art equipment. You can always depend on Meineke to do the job right and get you back on the road in no time. Save time and schedule an appointment now. Visit Meineke.com today. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Hunter in Raleigh and Patrick in Goldsboro getting ready to battle it out with jersey number trivia. The winner taking home a pair of tickets to the Rip X Card Show at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park, September 26th and 27th. Now, this is probably going to be our question for the numbers game all week this week. So we'll bring them each onto the show. We'll ask them the same question. Max will be the judge. He'll pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. We'll start with Hunter in Raleigh. Hunter, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. We're giving away tickets to a card show. So what's your grail? What player is the dream card that if you were to rip a pack of whatever sport you fancy, what would be the one that would really knock your socks off?
I would have to say a rookie Julius Peppers card.
All right. I like that. And I explained why yesterday, but I'll explain it again later. But Julius Peppers rookie card. Max, any follow-ups? I can't hear you. All right. He's shaking his head no. Let's go to Patrick in Goldsboro. Patrick, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Same question to you. The winner gets a pair of tickets to the RipX card show. So what player is your grail card, right? If you were just opening a pack of cards of whatever sport is your favorite, what player could pop up in there that would make you the most happy?
It would be, to show my age, my childhood hero, a rookie auto something of one LeBron James.
Okay, so like showing your age, was that supposed to say you were old or young? I'm not sure.
I mean, it's up to the, it's up to. I'm a school teacher. Some kids think when I bring up LeBron, they're like, "Oh, he's old." I'm like, no, I saw him at his peak. So
okay,
yeah.
that makes more sense. Once you bring in the kids you're teaching, that makes more sense. Because to me, seeing LeBron's rookie year doesn't make you old. That would make me old, and I don't like that. All right, so Max, you get to choose. Are you rolling with Hunter, who went with a Julius Peppers rookie card, or Patrick, who's so old he went with a LeBron James rookie?
I'll try to make Patrick feel a little bit better because, I think I'd be really excited. Not that I wouldn't be excited to see a Julius Peppers card, but, I'd be thrilled if I got some kind of rare LeBron rookie card. And, I'm 25, so you don't have to be old to appreciate LeBron, so we'll let him go first.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw it on the internet, so I believed it 100% the first time I read it. If Magic Johnson played as many seasons as LeBron has played, if LeBron finishes out the 2-year contract that he has, then Magic would have won a couple championships with Kobe. If he played as long for the Lakers as LeBron has played in his career.
Because he was in college in 1979 still, so if he was 20, that'd be 25 years, so you'd get to 2005.
How crazy is that? The longevity is bananas. So Patrick gets to go first. Hunter in Raleigh. I liked your pick. I like picks that show your personality. No offense, but I think LeBron's kind of mainstream with that. But Hunter, you'll sit on hold and you'll have your chance in just a couple of minutes. Patrick, are you ready to pick your category?
Yes. In my defense, I would normally pick my normal teams, but I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. We don't have much to root for.
The Tim Couch rookie isn't doing it for you? About the same era?
I still have my jersey from '99.
You'd rather
it doesn't do it.
You'd rather have a Tim Donnelly autograph card than that, maybe.
That's right.
I've got a story that I'll tell you in a second. Not me, but it's a funny story. We'll tell that after the game.
Yes, sir.
Patrick in Goldsboro, your categories that you get to choose from are NFL players with mid-August birthdays, MLB players, Major League Baseball, who led their league in hits at some point in their career, NBA players that were teammates of Dennis Schroeder at some point or another, or NHL Hurricanes only?
Let's go with NBA players that were teammates with Dennis Schroeder.
All right, Dennis Schroeder teammates. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. We are looking for the player with the jersey of the team, I say, not necessarily when they were teammates with Schroeder. They were just all teammates of Schroeder. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Oklahoma City Thunder.
2.
Correct. DeMar DeRozan, Sacramento Kings.
10.
Correct. Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors.
23.
Correct. Peyton Pritchard, Boston Celtics.
11.
Correct. Pascal Siakam, Toronto Raptors.
43.
Goodness. Business-like. Perfect score. You know what? We had a perfect score yesterday as well, right? Am I making that up? You weren't here.
Dave Modlin, yeah.
I think by getting the people that want to go to a trading card thing, we're getting the people that know their stats and know their jersey number.
That was 20.8.
20.8. Congratulations on the perfect score, Patrick. We'll see if it holds up for you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Hunter and Raleigh. Hunter, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, it's going to be a challenge for you here. You have to get a perfect score faster than your opponent. The categories you get to choose from are NFL players with mid-August birthdays, Major League Baseball players who led their league in hits, or NHL players, Hurricanes only.
NFL.
All right, NFL players with mid-August birthdays. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. As I said, you need a perfect score. You have 20.8 seconds to get the perfect score to win the tickets, but keep going all the way through because there are other benefits that come with perfect scores. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit Lions.
97.
Correct. Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts.
10.
Incorrect. Marvin Harrison Jr., Arizona Cardinals.
18.
Correct. Jared Stidham, Denver Broncos.
15.
Incorrect. Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts.
7.
Incorrect. Jared Stidham, Denver Broncos.
7.
Incorrect. Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts.
10.
Incorrect. Jared Stidham, Denver Broncos.
18.
Incorrect. Josh Downs, Indianapolis Colts.
12.
Ironically, 12 had both numbers that we would have accepted. We needed number 1 or number 2 for Josh Downs. Jared Stidham, we needed number 4 or number 8. You were cruising early with Hutchinson and Marvin Harrison Jr. 2 out of 5, not a bad score, but unfortunately not enough for the win. Hopefully you had some fun, though.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Hopefully a Julius Peppers rookie card pops up in a pack you're ripping, which is another word for opening. I don't know why they don't call it opening. Either way, Patrick in Goldsboro, congratulations, perfect score, and you are going to the Rip X Card Show.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Go ahead and stay on the line, and Max will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize. Quick story here, and I think he'd be okay with me telling this story on air. So many of you know that a friend of the show, Mike Glennon, quarterback, played in the NFL for 10 years, also my cousin. His older brother, Sean Glennon, played at Virginia Tech. So Mike played at NC State. Sean played at Virginia Tech. Sean had a cup of coffee with the Minnesota Vikings in training camp when he was done with his college career. Talking of trading cards and how you said, like, oh, you'd probably rather have a Tim Donnelly card. Sean was probably, I don't even know the exact age, probably like 4th grade, 5th grade maybe, I don't know. He was young. And trading, as in the 90s as it was, right, trading cards became a big thing. And at one point in time, it's a story we tell in our family, I don't know, often enough. Another parent came knocking on the door, talking to my aunt and uncle, Sean's parents, saying, we need to trade back. And my aunt and uncle, like, what do you mean? Sean had traded his own, when you get like your Little League cards, you can get the package that comes with the little trading cards of yourself. He had traded signed cards of himself to other kids in the neighborhood for like Barry Sanders and Deion Sanders cards, and somehow talked them into like, in the future, this is going to be worth way more than that Herschel Walker or whatever card they were trading for. And the parents had to say, no. You're not taking the Emmitt Smith rookie card and giving us the Sean Glennon signed piece of cardboard, which is hilarious. And the confidence, bordering on arrogance, it shows from like the elementary school aged Sean Glennon to be swindling his buddies in the neighborhood out of the holographic, the shiny, right? That's all we cared about as kids. Like, it's shiny and it's a rookie card. Joe Montana and giving your own card in return is all time. And the parents coming over to settle the score is even funnier. It's a hilarious story. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that plays the numbers game. Always a fun time. And we did have confirmation. Dave Modlin, who was producing the show for the second half yesterday, came in. We are on a heater, everybody. We have back-to-back perfect score days. Back-to-back. That hasn't happened in a very long time. So whoever calls in tomorrow, pressure's on you. When we come back, there is two conversations to have about eligibility in the NCAA. There's the 5 for 5, which applies to a whole bunch of people, and there's the absolute ridiculousness that's going on with one particular player at NC State. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Soccer put its best foot forward this summer and tried everything it could to not put its foot in its mouth. Stellar play from the world's top stars in Messi and Mbappe, and a cult social media hero in the chiseled Viking Erling Haaland. It's a shame this will all be forgotten for another 4 years. Maybe we could get Shakira and the Muppets to do a yearly halftime show.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with Upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed Upfit solutions from Van Products.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Yeah, can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know, when Max is producing the show, we're getting Michael McDonald out of the final break. You know it, like clockwork. If you are out in the Durham area, or you can be there within the hour, 99.9 The Fan Zone at Durham Bulls Athletic Park for Durham Bulls games every Tuesday. You might want to call and see. $9.99 tickets. $9.99. Get it? Our fan zone section down the left field line, third base line. Pretty fantastic seats, and you can be sitting there with friends, sitting there with family, sitting there by yourself. My dad loves going to baseball games solo dolo, keeping score. And then the real psycho move is he throws away the scorebook on the way out. He just does it. It's like, I don't know, therapeutic or something, zen-like. But you can get the ticket, $9.99. That's what the fan zone brings you on Tuesday games, home games for the Durham Bulls, including today. They play at 6:45. That's why I said if you can get there in an hour. Remember that. Now, the NCAA upsets me in a lot of ways. Okay, they make a lot of decisions that I don't agree with. I'll put it that way. And you can yell and scream about like, oh, why don't they handle replays better, right? You can yell and scream about, the CFP committee makes a bad decision. You can yell and scream about that. Most of that stuff falls into the category that I love about sports, which is you can get really upset about it, but really, it's in the scheme of things, it's not that important, right? You can yell and scream about that with your friend and then like go out to dinner right after and there's no hard feelings, right? It's not like religion, politics, life, parenting, whatever, these things that if you disagree, it gets ugly. And then occasionally there's like a real serious conversation that jumps into sports and you recognize, all right, common sense should take over. There's one of those happening at NC State right now. Now, a lot of this reporting is done by the News and Observer. I could have cited a bunch of other outlets because everybody's kind of in on it. It's happening at the same time. A federal judge ruled on yesterday, that an NC State football transfer is temporarily eligible to participate in team activities after the NCAA initially denied his waiver request. Now, if I hear eligibility requests and judges involved, I assume this has something to do with the 5-for-5, something to do with rules changing, NIL. It really doesn't. This one is kind of an old school NCAA eligibility question. Katron Evans, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that first name. We'll just refer to him as Evans, is eligible until August 24th. which is worth noting is 5 days prior to their August 29th season opener. Unless the order is extended, unless the temporarily eligible waiver is extended, he will lose his eligibility August 24th, according to the ruling obtained by the News and Observer. The temporary restraining order was filed in the Eastern District of North Carolina on Friday. Here's the crazy part. Once you see that you get all that information I just gave you, player eligible, might not be, there's an appeals, there's temporary injunctions, the courts are ruling on a waiver by the NCAA. I've seen enough on both sides that I don't really know how this is going to go. I might click on it and it just says like a player really wants to keep playing. A player doesn't think that their year at a another school where they played 8 games, every snap should count. And I'm just like, no, you're done, buddy. Your eligibility's up. But I've also seen, and I can cite examples of the NCAA having absolutely no common sense, zero common sense. I think his name was Brock Hoffman, I believe. He was a center for Virginia Tech. Should have been was a center for Virginia Tech when I covered the Hokies. And he was transferring from Coastal Carolina to be closer to his mother who had a brain tumor. And the NCAA denied his waiver, and he had to post scans of his mom's brain on social media to drum up the necessary support and PR from everybody that was advocating for him and to put pressure on the NCAA. And I just remember sitting there thinking of how gross it was that he had to post his mom's brain tumor scans. So I hear this about NC State. Evans is eligible, but he might not be, but he is for now, and there's this order, and I don't know what side it clicks on until I start reading the News and Observer article, and I see this paragraph. Evans spent 2 seasons at Jackson State, 2 seasons at Charlotte, and 1 at Marshall. He did not play in 2023, and you learn it was an eligibility issue. He did not play in 2023. Dave Doran, the head coach of NC State, said a close family member and an individual close to the family were shot and killed during Evans' time at Charlotte. Another one of Evans' relatives died. A former friend and teammate died by suicide. Evans' mother was nearly evicted. And social media posts by those close to Evans confirmed Doran's statements. Public records showed Evans' mother faced eviction. And everything I just mentioned happened in the span of several months. And that all was going on in his life during the year where his eligibility fell through his fingers. Then you learn this. Dave Doran continues. Doran was not surprised to learn that those events led to academic hardship that put his eligibility in jeopardy and led to a year of academic ineligibility. Doran also learned that despite these hardships, Evans fought to regain his academic eligibility, transferred to Marshall University, earned his bachelor's degree, and became a team captain. This is the waiver that the NCAA denied. They don't want to give him the year back where he was academically ineligible with all of those things going on in his life. This is the one. You have players playing till they're 24, 25 years old for no good reason. This is the one they want to dig their heels in on. Now, listen, do you know what's the disgusting part of sports? As I'm getting ready to do this, I'm prepping this morning, I'm reading the articles, I'm doing the research, I'm looking into his time with Marshall, who, by the way, Marshall reached out to NC State for the trade because Tony Gibson is a former defensive coordinator for Dave Doran, and they knew that they couldn't afford to keep Evans, and they want to set him up at a good spot. Like, this seems like one of the good dudes. So I'm doing all the research, and I'm thinking, like, I'm going to read that article, and I'm going to read that sentence. Doran said a close family member and individual close to the family were shot and killed during his time in Charlotte. Another of Evans' relatives died. A former friend and teammate died by suicide. His mother was nearly evicted. And there's going to be those of you thinking like, oh, he's exaggerating. Oh, a close individual close to the family? Is that how close? Oh, a relative? Were they 95 years old? Like I guarantee you there are people thinking that right now. And it's the same conversation I have with all of these waivers. If letting one or two people that are gross enough to lie about how close you were to somebody who passed away, if letting one or two of those waivers go through means everybody who has to deal with family members close to them dying gets the benefit of the doubt, I'm cool with that. I don't want to be the one that makes people prove their closeness to somebody that was found having died by suicide. I don't want to be the one that makes you like, no, show me text. Show me how close you were to that individual that you say died that was close to your family. I don't want to be the one, in the previous example, that makes a student athlete post publicly scans of their mother's brain tumor. If somebody is willing to lie and make that up, I don't think they would, by the way. I don't think people in general would do that by overwhelming majority. And I don't think Evans is, and I don't think Hoffman was. But if somebody is willing to do that, I'll let them escape. They got to deal with that on their conscience. Because I don't want to make anybody that is actually dealing with that sort of thing have to quite frankly, have to relive it any more than they have to. If the NCAA talks to all of the coaches, talks to all of the people involved, the athletic directors, and everyone is on the same page and everyone is giving you the same story and everyone is of belief that this kid did nothing wrong or this young man did nothing wrong and was going through a hard time and you are the one that turns down that waiver, I don't know how you sleep at night. So let's hope well before August, because now, what does NC State do? They don't know if he's going to be eligible beyond August 24th. They play August 29th. Can they, be ready for a game and have him preparing to play? Because if you take him away, the next guy's got to be ready to play.
Just make him eligible.
Just make him eligible.
They make anybody eligible for any reason
They
these
dig
days.
their heels in on the dumbest reasons. And I assume that a court at some point in time will extend it or will make the ruling or the NCAA will drop it. But, even then, you've made him do this. I now know that a lineman on NC State's mother was facing eviction 3 years ago. That's not, that's nobody's business. And whether it's a little embarrassing or I don't know how they feel about it, but it's messed up that I know that. You should not know that. Those are the personal struggles people go through in life. They I don't know if they want people to know about the suicide. But if it comes down to playing or not playing and you're somebody that greatly cares about college football and the money might be life-changing for you or at least a nice head start on life, if that's happening, you now have to reveal the inner darkest web that you've weaved years ago, and you've come out on the other side and you've bettered yourself and you've become eligible and you graduated and you were a team captain and now you got to go relive all that. I hate it. The NCAA has done this for years, and it's part of the reason why I don't give them the benefit of the doubt on darn near any conversation. I don't like it at all. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I hope he plays. I hope he's all conference. I hope he plays fantastic if he earns it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I said this earlier. I'll say it again. Please go check out our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. You can jump in the comments. We had a feedback frenzy today. We'll likely have another one later in the week. So the only thing you have to do to throw your hat in the ring there is go to our YouTube, find a video that you like, find a video that brings up some kind of emotion in you, and then comment. You can argue with us. You can tell us we're wrong. You can tell us we're right. You can ask a question. It's all happening on our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan in the comment section, and we might just grab it and bring it on air for a feedback frenzy. While you're there, please subscribe if you like the content, which I think you will. Max, you are not with us tomorrow, are you?
Nope.
We've had a nice little run, so we appreciate you filling in for Dennis over the last 2.5, 3 shows. So good job keeping us up and running there.
Shout out Dave Modlin for filling in the last hour and 15 minutes yesterday too.
Yesterday was a bullpen game. You were the opener. We got through it though. Overdrive is coming up next. We're going to talk a little college football pay. How much do you think college football players are making? ESPN told us the numbers, and you can hear them next, as well as some Jaccob Slavin debate. So a couple of conversations coming up on Overdrive. We'll be back tomorrow for a Wednesday edition of the show. On the way out, as Max is not with us tomorrow, enjoy some Michael McDonald.
Excuse me, you think you could spare a square?
Sorry, what?
A square on your smartphone.